that's not enough, we also offer an unprecedented lifetime diamond guarantee. I invite you to come see for yourself. Visit us today in-store or at baileybox.com.
Attention soccer fans, North Carolina FC invites you to be part of the excitement. Join us in our electrifying games with top-tier players, thrilling goals, and unforgettable moments. Experience the thrill of this beautiful game with North Carolina FC. Get your tickets now, northcarolinafc.com.
This hour of buzzer-beating, nail-biting, edge-of-your-seat sports action on 99.9 The Fan is powered by
Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
Visit GotBryan.com.
That's GotBryan.com. WCMC-FM HD1 Holly Springs.
You're listening to The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Jaylen Brown, who is authored a 13-point quarter, attacks the rim and flushes with a right hand. 15 in the third for Jaylen Brown. 10 seconds to go. 106-99. Tatum dribbles around, and the final seconds will tick away, and the Celtics have come back. Down 13 in the first half. They win it to take a 3-0 series lead in the 2024 finals.
That was quite the game last night, by the way. Got to catch that after getting back from Pinehurst yesterday. Dennis Cox sitting in for Adam Gold. Today, Adam is taking some time off. I don't know if he's probably sitting at home watching the U.S. Open, Victoria.
I know,
I'm
probably.
assuming that's what he's doing.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, it's also Father's Day weekend is coming up. So, by the way, early shout out to all the dads out there. Mm-hmm. So I'll be sitting in for Adam today, tomorrow, and Monday and Tuesday of next week.
Yeah. How was the drive from Pinehurst?
The drive is easy. So we're located in Raleigh, is our home base. So you literally just go down U.S. Route 1.
Very familiar
and there it is. You just go south on Route 1, and it's like, oh, look, Pinehurst.
Oh, there it is.
It's just an hour and 15 minutes. It's a simple and easy drive. But we had a great time down there yesterday. Let's not beat around the bush anymore like the golfers are doing right now. Let's get things started. Let's go right to the U.S. Open because it's right in our backyard. It's in Pinehurst, number 2. I'm sure you've heard it. If you've listened to the Adam Gold Show, we are contractually obligated, Victoria, to discuss golf.
Yeah,
we are contractually obligated, and that's what we're going to do right from the get-go. So
golf
we're actually
and
just
soccer.
Well, actually, I'll mention soccer actually a little bit later on because, again, contractually obligated. Still tons of players yet to tee off today. We're still looking at 115, Rory McIlroy. Still looking at, again, 115, Xander Schauffele, who we're here from here in a second. Scotty Scheffler. There's still a bunch of big names that have yet to tee off today. So there's still a ton coming up regarding some of the big names. Bryson DeChambeau's at 125. Max Homa's at 125 as well. Tommy Fleetwood, 115. So there's still tons and tons of golfers that have yet to even tee off today in terms of the big names on the course. But right now, at this moment, Victoria, Matthew Pavon.
Yes.
Because he's French. I got to say it in the French way. Matthew,
Pavon.
as opposed to Matthew Pavin.
What, you eat a baguette?
Yes, exactly, baguette. Matthew Pavon through 12 holes, 4 under.
Yes.
4 under. Patrick Cantlay, it's got local ties here. Patrick Cantlay's 3 under through 14. Ludwig Aberg is 3 under. Russell Henley, Brooks Koepka, as well as Neil Shipley, an amateur, all 2 under at this moment, as well as Molinari is also 2 under as well. Sergio Garcia, Tony Finau, Ricky Fowler, Siwoo Kim, and a host of others are all 1 under par right now. Tiger's struggling.
Is anyone surprised? I mean, we love Tiger,
right
but
now. He's +3 now. Will Zalatoris +3 as well. A lot has been made this week, and I'm sure if people that you'll listen to Adam yesterday talk about it, there's a lot to be said about the course at Pinehurst and how difficult it is. And actually, Xander Schauffele, who doesn't tee off for about another hour and 10 minutes or so, actually discussed the course yesterday.
Yeah, very much along the lines of a U.S. Open. Obviously not the traditional one with sort of really long grass, rough, and stuff like that. But true test of a U.S. Open where, par is a really good score. And, 5 sometimes isn't going to hurt you either.
So, yeah, basically, if you hit par, celebrate on this course. And being down there yesterday, just seeing a lot of the golfers on the course, during their practice rounds and seeing what they're doing on the range. So many of them were focused on putting, chipping, all short game stuff. All short game stuff. Yeah, there's plenty of dudes that can bomb at 300 plus yards, but these fairways are narrow, so obviously accuracy matters. But the way the greens are shaped, they call them turtle shell greens. So to put it in context for people who may not golf or understand what that means, I think everyone listening here has played putt-putt at some point, Victoria,
yeah.
right?
Yes,
you
let's
know,
go.
You get to that hole where there's like it's like just sits on the top of a mound.
Yep.
And if it doesn't stay up there, it just falls off the edge, and then you try and putt it up to the hole, and then you miss, and it falls off on the other edge.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the greens at Pinehurst.
That's Pinehurst.
That's Pinehurst. So there's a lot of guys, I know, especially remember guys like Tony Finau, were putting in a lot of extended time on the practice green yesterday. And I think that's where we're seeing some of the guys that really put in that work are things are starting to pay off, as Tiger Woods for a par putt.
Well, and I'm not a golfer, and I don't watch it as much as Adam does. But
neither do I.
I've always heard that, putting and chipping is difficult anyways for, like, some really talented golfers. So this will be a test for a lot of guys.
Exactly. And I think that's what we're seeing. Don't be surprised, like, Pavon, Cantlay, these guys are 4 under, 3 under. Don't be shocked as the course continues on, or this week over the course, because Tiger Woods said it on Tuesday. He's like, yeah, the course is already faster than it was a couple days ago, and it's as hot as it is. There's going to be no rain down there. The course is going to be pretty fast. So how these guys handle the putting greens and everything like that, it's going to be pretty remarkable to watch in that regard. I'm not going to give you like a stroke-by-stroke breakdown of some of these guys and swing. I'm not do that. That's not me. But nonetheless, the U.S. Open is very much known for, hey, we're going to make things hard.
Yeah.
We're going to make you grind for it. I think Colin Morikawa, through 14 holes was even par. Hey, you were talking about like birdie, bogey, like playing from the sand and all that stuff. Like just to be even through 14 for Morikawa, I haven't checked his score here in a moment. But to be even at that point is pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
Again, he's had to kind of grind through that.
What I've heard, is this true, too, that, like, the guys are kind of worried about the bounces? Like, it's all about the bounces. They're anticipating that it's going to happen just because of the green and how dry it is.
Yeah, I think that's I think it's the reason why we saw a lot of guys yesterday were intentionally working on with their chipping was like the high elevation, so the ball kind of lands more straight, direct down. Like you have
Makes
to control
sense.
your spin, because if you have too much spin, you're going to pull it right back off the green. But if you hit too low of an angle, you're just going to skip right over it. It's gonna
and
be
in
wild.
putt-putt terms, you're in the crocodile pond.
Exactly. Exactly. That's exactly where you're going to be. And actually, Tony Finau at 1 under, birdies a hole. Now he's at 2 under through 14. So there you go. Tony Finau making a pretty good day today. But he's got 3 birdies and a bogey today. So up and down, sit back and enjoy it. It's a fun tournament. And if you get a chance to go have fun. Yesterday was the first time I've ever been to a major golf tournament. I've been to the SAS Championship in Cary at Prestonwood Country Club. It's just 3 rounds. It's the Champions Tour, formerly known as the Senior PGA Tour. I've been to those a couple of times. And they're fun. I've really enjoyed it. But this is my first time ever actually going to a major event.
Yeah.
Or just a 4-round golf event, I should say. And to go be at U.S. Open, it's almost like, oh, your first football game you ever went to was a Super Bowl.
Exactly.
Congratulations.
I can smell the money.
A lot of that, too. But it was a fun time. And if you do get a chance to go and you do get a chance to experience it, go have fun. Just soak it all in. Watch some of your favorite golfers. We'll get into the Tiger effect a little bit later on in the show today. But also going on in the world of sports, NBA Finals Game 3 last night.
Yeah, it was.
Celtics 106, Mavericks 99. Celtics take a 3-0 series lead. It's a wrap.
It definitely feels like it.
Because that was probably Dallas's best opportunity, especially the way they started the game and the strong start that they had. That was their best chance to get back in the series. Sorry, you're not coming back from down 3-0. I think in the NBA Finals, or just the NBA in general postseason, I think it's 156-0 or teams when they take a 3-0 series lead. So, yeah, I don't think anyone's ever come down. Yeah, not great odds. Not great odds, Victoria. So, keeping things a little bit local here, Kyrie Irving, Duke grad, had his best game of the series in 2 things, in part. one, he was due. He
Yes.
was due to actually have a strong performance. But secondly, Kristaps Porzingis not playing made a difference. And there's actually tangible numbers to back it up. In the playoffs, especially through the first 2 games, Mavericks were shooting 64% at the rim. When the ball's at the rim, layups and things like that. At the rim, 64% when Porzingis is on the floor. When it's Al Horford defending at the rim, 72%.
Wow.
Tangible difference, folks.
Big difference.
Tangible difference. Who's one of the best finishers in the paint and around the rim in the entire NBA? It's Kyrie Irving. I said it yesterday. I know a lot of people listened last week and heard Tim Donnelly sit in for Adam Gold. I produce his show in the afternoons on 99.9 The Fan in Raleigh. 99.9 The Fan in Raleigh, the flagship station for this show, the Adam Gold Show. I said it to him yesterday. If Porzingis doesn't play, Kyrie's 25-plus easily.
Yeah.
And he had 35 yesterday. So it was one of Kyrie's best performances this postseason. Obviously, his best performance in the finals. But it was also one of Luka Doncic's worst.
I know.
In the sense of just how he crumbled at the end.
And he fouled out.
He fouled out, which is first time he's ever done that in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
I think this was a cumulative effect of frustration. Clearly, it took over. He had some bad fouls that he took. There were probably a couple questionable calls. He was a little critical of the officials post-game. I'm not here for all that. But cumulative frustration in this series, and the dam finally broke.
Mm-hmm.
Because you look back at the first 2 games, who was putting up points? He had 30-plus in each of the first 2 games. It was Luka. And things sometimes just weren't working yesterday. And how you respond, this goes for any sport, any athlete, anyone that's ever coached before. How you respond is really what matters. And that's what the Celtics are doing right now. In terms of response to adversity and tough situations, the Celtics are responding positively. Dallas is not. And Jason Tatum, another former Duke guy, when the Mavs were starting to make some runs, Celtics had an answer.
The game of basketball is about runs, and this is at the highest level. That's the best team in the West at this point in the time. So they're going to make shots. They're going to go on a run, and it's just all about how do you respond. We talk about it all the time. 20-point leads, none of that is ever safe. It's never time to relax. And, yeah, you never want to give up a 20-point lead. Obviously, we wish we'd have got some better shots, took care of the ball, but things happen. It's never going to go how you expect it, and we talk about that all the time. But if you want to be a champion, you have to be resilient in those moments, and we showed that tonight.
Resiliency this entire postseason, playing without Porzingis. Now they had been able to adjust to it. Porzingis not being there during this postseason stretch up until the finals, and it's oh, we got an extra guy here. Then all of a sudden, wait, now he's not there again. They responded accordingly. The Celtics clearly are the better team. I think it's pretty obvious, Victoria, that the Celtics are the better team. Again, it's a formality at this point. Jaylen Brown, another strong game yesterday, and I think he had over 15 points in the third quarter alone. And as Jaylen Brown says, when the moments are big, the guys are there.
Those are the moments which you have to just live for. We've been in those moments a lot. We just needed to be patient, be poised. I felt like we got some good looks. The defensive intensity ramped up. The officiating, got a little bit tighter. So at the end of the day, you just got to make plays. I thought we got some good looks down the line in the fourth. Some went in, some didn't, but we was able to make plays and find a way to win. And we've been in those positions and we've lost. So it was great to overcome that with my brother Jason and the rest of our team. That was special.
So they were poised, they were under control, they didn't let the moment be too big. Whereas I think Luka Doncic yesterday was kind of Will Ferrell from old school, taking the chair, just smashing against the locker. Got to keep our composure.
I'm over this.
Yeah, that's basically what Luka was yesterday down the stretch. By the way, Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic had 35 and 27 points respectively. So 62 points between the two. Mm-hmm. The other 5 starters, just 21 points.
Wow.
Just 21 points amongst the other 3 starters for the Dallas Mavericks. By the way, shout out Derek Lively, my guy. I'm a big Derek Lively fan. I think he's going to continue to grow and be an awesome NBA player. He's already a great one now. I think he's going to continue to grow and blossom. He had 11 points and 13 rebounds off the bench yesterday.
Yeah.
He was awesome.
And he was good towards the end, too.
Yes, absolutely. Big fan of Derek Lively's. But the other 3 starters, like PJ Washington had 13 points. He made 3 3-pointers, but he hit some really good looks around the rim. PJ Washington, former Charlotte Hornet that the Dallas Mavericks traded for at the trade deadline this year to bring in. Obviously, he's been integral to getting to the finals, but he missed some shots. He probably should have had that one.
That.
But yeah, just the other 3 starters, just 21 points. Whereas for the Celtics, Tatum and Brown had 31 and 30 points respectively, so 61.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much right there with Irving and Luka. The other 3 starters, 33 points.
Yeah. There you go.
There you go. It goes to show you. We'll talk Carolina Hurricanes and stuff a little bit later on in the show. It goes to show you that when you are building your roster, it's like, yes, you can have like your dudes, right? Your star players, whether this is basketball, baseball, football, hockey, soccer, you name it. Yeah, you have you got your dudes, right?
Mm-hmm.
The other pieces around them have to complement and also have to perform at a high level in order for everything to work. You can't be like for example, for an NBA fan out there, the Phoenix Suns, for example. Like, we're all in on like 4 guys, and 2 of them aren't playing. What do you got? Squat.
Yeah.
You know? The other guys have to step up. For example, Sam Hauser yesterday off the bench, like 9 points in 14 minutes.
Yeah.
And also played some pretty strong defense at times as well. But those guys had to step up in their roles, and having quality role players matters.
Yeah.
Some people are like, yeah, we get wrapped up. We talk about stars and stuff all the time. But if you're building a good team, the other people matter too.
And the Mavs, they just look so deflated too.
They
Because
really
I watched
did.
the last maybe 10-ish minutes of the game closely last night, and they put a run on for it. I mean, they, came back within 2 twice in the last 10 minutes, but it's just they'd get really close, and then, here comes the Celtics.
Couldn't seal the deal.
No, they couldn't.
They couldn't. And they had such a strong start yesterday too. And I thought that was the thing. All right, you're back home. I thought you'd get that strong start. But then the response from Boston, they went on a 7-0 run for, Jason Kidd's calling a timeout because Dallas was up 13 for, they're up 6.
Yeah.
Because of a 7-0 run by Boston in the first quarter. It's the response that Boston has had in every single one of those situations.
Even the crowd was trying to get into it too.
Well,
they were
but you're at
super
home.
loud. They were like, "Come
You're at
on,
home.
guys, we're so close." I felt bad for them.
All right, speaking of more basketball, let's move on to the next one. ACC SEC Challenge, folks.
Yes.
By the way, state of North Carolina, get ready because we have some showdowns for you. December 3rd and December 4th are when the ACC SEC Challenge takes place. It's still weird not saying ACC Big Ten Challenge because we had that for so long.
Yeah.
But because the ACC and the SEC have contract deals with Disney, that's why you're getting these games. It's an ESPN creation is what it is. But nonetheless, December 3rd, here's some notable matchups on December 3rd, on Tuesday the 3rd. Florida State is at LSU. Now, Florida State has beaten LSU in football each of the last couple of seasons, so you know what? Feeling pretty good about that one, Victoria.
Yep.
That has nothing to do with the other, but nonetheless, just wanted to point that out, that Florida State beat one of the top SEC football teams each of the last 2 seasons, and yet, our ACC team got left out of the college football playoff.
But the ACC stinks.
Whatever.
So, yeah.
Well, I'll get into more of that in a second. More on that in a second.
Oh, yeah.
Wake Forest, for our friends out there in the Triad right now listening, Wake Forest is going to be at Texas A&M. Clemson is hosting Kentucky. Good on Clemson.
Yeah.
An Elite 8 team. Kentucky's coming into your floor. It's one of the big blue bloods. But also the big matchup we're anticipating, Victoria.
Yes.
Cal is at Missouri that Tuesday. Let's go.
I'm stoked.
Let's go. By the way, no Stanford, no SMU in the ACC SEC Challenge because ACC just has more schools. So they're the designated survivors.
Yeah.
Stanford and SMU.
Get to see our new additions.
But Wednesday, the 4th, December 4th of the ACC SEC Challenge. Oh, we got some doozies.
Ooh.
We got some doozies. I don't know if you've seen this yet, Victoria. NC State hosting Texas, which is weird. Texas is obviously going to be an SEC school. But Texas is a big national brand.
Very.
It's got a great basketball program out there. So NC State, Final Four team, hosting Texas. Duke, Elite 8 team, hosting Auburn. UNC Sweet 16 rematch hosting Alabama. So on the same day of the ACC SEC Challenge, State, Duke, Carolina, all hosting the same day.
What a little Christmas
same
present.
night,
That's an
right?
early Christmas present.
That is awesome. Now, game times, networks, all that kind of stuff. We're not entirely sure when all that's going to take place. They'll announce that, obviously, when the time comes. But NC State hosting Texas, Duke hosting Auburn, UNC hosting Alabama, all in the same day?
Yeah, that'll be good. I'm here for it.
Let's go.
All of it.
Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
I hope they spread it out where you get a 7 o'clock start, an 8 o'clock start, and
Yes.
I hate 9 o'clock starts.
I know.
I hate it.
I know.
But nonetheless, because of TV networks and all that stuff, but if you just want to watch college basketball here in the state of North Carolina, I really hope they stagger it. Heck, I hope they do a 6:30 and like a 7:30.
Why not?
And an 8.
Just
or
give it
9
a little
o'clock,
bit of
whatever it is.
a gap. Yeah.
Yeah, give us a little bit.
Little room.
Little room. But yes, State, Duke, Carolina, all hosting again. State hosting Texas, Duke hosting Auburn, UNC hosting Alabama. Again, that's a Sweet 16 rematch.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
I know. Who's not going to like that?
It's still kind of fun when you sit there, you look at those three schools, and you're like, man, UNC Sweet 16, Duke Elite 8, NC State Final Four.
Yeah, no big deal.
Highlight them. Highlight them. 'Cause
Love it.
the state of North Carolina is the center of the college basketball world. Next thing up. Stanley Cup Finals Game 3 tonight.
Yes.
I know you're going to be locked in on this,
Oh,
Victoria.
yes.
100% locked in.
Love it. I love hockey playoffs.
So the Florida Panthers are now going to be on the road at the Edmonton Oilers. Florida leads this series 3-0. Just for the sake of just having more compelling competition, I want the Florida Panthers to win this series because I want to keep the cup below the border.
Okay.
And by the way, the border with Canada, because let's be real, the entire country of Canada is like, let's bring the cup home.
I know.
Let's bring it home.
We're all here. We got the maple syrup ready.
McDavid's our chosen one. Yeah. He's going to bring the cup home. I've actually seen people say, this is like a legit thing, from Toronto Maple Leaf fans. I've seen a couple of this posted online. If McDavid wins the cup, he's going to realize that the cup's back in Canada, and that Toronto really is Canada's team. So eventually, he's going to sign with the Maple Leafs when his contract's up. I'm like,
wow. Okay. Well, you keep believing
keep
that.
Keep dreaming that, cuz.
Yeah.
Keep on dreaming.
Yeah.
But yeah, right. If you are a Carolina Hurricanes fan, though, obviously, if you're a hockey fan, I'm pretty sure you're going to be tuned in.
Oh yeah.
But if you're a Hurricanes fan, like you and I are, Victoria. One, enjoy the game, watch it. But the reason you should watch this as a Canes fan, in particular, watch the Florida Panthers. They're essentially what the Carolina Hurricanes are, or what the Carolina Hurricanes are trying to be, or want to be. Awesome defensively as a team, not just their defensemen, with Forsling and Montour, a couple of those guys. But Alexander Barkov, who got knocked out in the last game, fully participated in practice yesterday. So my guess is that he plays today.
Yeah.
Alexander Barkov is basically a blend of Sebastian Aho and Jordan Staal. So Jordan Staal finished second in the league in the Selke Trophy voting. The Selke Trophy goes to the best defensive forward in the entire NHL. Barkov won the award by a mile.
Right, yeah.
Over Jordan Staal. So you're talking like the defensive prowess that Jordan Staal has, but he has like the skating and scoring ability of Sebastian Aho, and he's built like Jordan Staal. So
Deadly
basically,
combo.
like it's a blend of the two is Alexander Barkov.
Yep.
Matthew Tkachuk, that guy that scored all those overtime winners against the Canes, was factored in them a couple
So
seasons
irritating.
ago.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. That guy is everything you want Andrei Svechnikov to become. From a physicality standpoint, scoring, playmaking, that edginess. Matthew Tkachuk is everything you want Andrei Svechnikov to become. And Carolina was in the running to trade for Matthew Tkachuk a couple off seasons ago in 2023. Florida Panthers just edged them out in terms of an off-season trade. Barely. But nonetheless, how they're built. Paul Maurice, former Carolina Hurricanes head coach, by the way. And there are a couple of guys in the front office for the Florida Panthers who used to work in the front office for the Carolina Hurricanes.
They did.
Ironic how they're built very similar.
Yeah,
Victoria.
who would have thunk it?
So there are some people out there that say, well, the Canes system doesn't work in the playoffs. Yeah, it does. Because Florida Panthers are doing it right now. They're the Cup Finals for the second straight year.
Yeah.
And they're going to win this darn thing.
They just actually have a goalie, and they're slightly more aggressive.
Oh, yeah, and there's that, too.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want one of those.
Yeah, please and thank you.
Sergei Bobrovsky's been unreal.
Mm-hmm.
But nonetheless, that's where we sit right now in the Stanley Cup Finals.
Yep.
That's going to be 8 o'clock tonight. It's in Edmonton.
Yeah. It's an elimination game.
No. It's only 2-0 in the series.
Oh, 2-0.
So, yeah.
Sorry, game 3. I'm thinking basketball still.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully we don't have a Celtics-Mavericks situation going on right here. Because honestly, sweeps are boring.
I know. And I want the Oilers to at least get... See, I kind of wanted the Oilers to win only because we have history with the Panthers.
Well,
and
we have
so
history
that
with
was
the
where
Panthers.
I was coming from. And, it's been a while for the Oilers. But I understand your thought process of keeping it in the States.
Exactly.
So,
honestly, I was on initially when I talked about it. I was like, Edmonton would be awesome because Connor McDavid is the best player in the world. He's such a great player.
Mm-hmm.
And
he's a good leader. You could tell he's a great leader on the team.
And he's so skilled. I think the way he plays, we'd love to see him win a Stanley Cup. And I was thinking about, all of Canada is waiting for the cup to come back north. I was like, wait a second. I don't want that.
Yeah.
I want it to stay here.
America. Yeah, I get it.
It's the Adam Gold Show. Dennis Cox sitting in for Adam Gold this afternoon. Victoria producing the show. As always, Carolina Panthers, speaking of Panthers, the Carolina Panthers wrapped up minicamp this week. There's a clear plan on offense. I'm going to tell you why. Bryce Young, it's on you, buddy. I'll tell you that in 4 minutes.
Serving it up hot and fresh every day. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
We're jamming your June with championships. The NBA Finals.
The Celtics have come back to take a 3-0 series lead in the 2024 Finals.
The Stanley Cup Finals.
Redirected in. Rodriguez with the tip in. His second of the game. It's 3-1 Florida.
The U.S. Open.
Payne Stewart is the 1999 U.S. Open champion. Oh, my.
Catch every winning moment with us. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
Imagine waking up this time next week and being 100% debt-free from credit cards, car loan, and personal loans. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit can make it happen. Homeowners are turning their home equity into cash almost instantly. With Loan Pronto's AI-based system, you can get approval in about 10 minutes with almost no documentation, no appraisal, and no hassle. You can get hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home. Use that money to pay off all your other loans. The average homeowner saves over $850 a month doing this. Listen, your home value is way up. You can use that to wipe out all those credit cards. Get some money for a home improvement. Literally hundreds of thousands are at your fingertips, and approval is just minutes away. Call now, 919-381-1760, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com, 919-381-1760, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, equal housing lender.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
Houston, permission to detach boosters.
Negative, Commander. You're off course for the moon. Sensors show something massive on board. Did you bring additional items?
Only the new loaded scratch-offs.
Those are loaded with $50, $100, $500, and $2,000 prizes. You're on a trajectory towards Mars.
Nice. First person on Mars. Take that, billionaires.
New loaded scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Massive amounts of prizes. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.8 to 4.88. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Guess what a burger's favorite day is?
What?
Friday.
Dad, that's not funny.
This Father's Day, celebrate your worst dad jokes with Carolina Ale House.
On Sunday, June 16th, dads can get a free varsity burger at any Carolina Ale House in the Triangle. It's the most popular burger on the menu, and Dad deserves it. Butter his buns with a free varsity burger, and maybe his favorite beer, too. Dine in only, no purchase necessary, at Carolina Ale House.
If Heineken Silver was a 60-second radio ad, it'd tell you all the stuff you need to know in only 30 seconds to keep things light and refreshing. Seriously, time me. Heineken Silver, a world-class light beer that's surprisingly crisp and refreshing, made with only premium quality ingredients and just 2.9 grams of carbs and 95 calories, all without compromising on taste. Heineken Silver, all the taste, no bitter endings. Order now at Heineken.com/silver. Must be 21 and older to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly. Whew, 30 seconds, that's it. Done. Peace.
Everyone's trying to become more streamlined these days, so why not you? Adam Gold here from my friends at Travers LASIK and Dr. Lori Travers, the Triangle's only LASIK specialist, and this is your chance to become more efficient. If you are a contact lens or glasses wearer, get rid of them. Plus, Travers LASIK is offering $1,000 off right now and 0% financing for qualified customers. Go to TraversLASIK.com. The consultation is free. 919-510-6830 for Travers LASIK.
This is Adam Gold.
North Carolinians wagered $659,308,541 on sports.
It's a little bit.
Treat it as entertainment only. Just look at it as fun.
The Adam Gold Show.
So as we go into, easy for me to say, as we go into the 2024 NFL offseason, like the true meat of the offseason, I guess you could say, because Carolina Panthers minicamp just wrapped up. They're not back together as a team until training camp in, 6 weeks? Roughly, end of July. First game, by the way, preseason game, Thursday, August 8th, taking on the New England Patriots. Head up on the road for that one. So training camp's going to start, 2 weeks before that? 2 weeks and a couple days, 16 days roughly, whatever it is. Which will be in Charlotte that week, 2 weeks before that preseason game. We'll be in Charlotte for the ACC Football Media Days. We'll probably swing on through training camp as well, Victoria.
Oh, yeah.
Be
It's
pretty
exciting.
awesome.
Yeah.
By the way, Dennis Cox sitting in for Adam Gold today. Victoria producing the show as always. But this offseason, from what we've heard from Bryce Young, from recently Andy Dalton, from Deontay Johnson, so many others, about the new head coach, Dave Canales, and what he's bringing offensively. Couple of things that we have heard. Ownership, letting players take ownership of what they're asked to do. They have an understanding of why they're doing the things they're doing. They're, okay, we're installing these concepts, not just doing it for the sake of doing it. Hey, when we're doing this, this is why we're doing it, because eventually we do this. This will allow us to eventually get to this point, then to this point. So the why of what they're doing, with everything that they do in terms of scheme, individual techniques, for each position, and so on and so forth. And this is where I think players for the Carolina Panthers, just talking strictly on offense, this is such a vital year for them to take the step that we want them to take and that they need to take based off what we saw last year. Last year was a disaster. We all know it. But as Bryce Young says here, now with this new offense, this new scheme, players are allowed to take ownership.
With the new system, everyone has this. Everyone in the room, you could tell there's a big buy-in on making sure that we take ownership in it. Just the professionalism that they display day in and day out. And again, also communication. Same thing, whether it's on the field and meetings, after practice in the locker room. Hey, on this play, whatever it is, how do we feel about this? Whatever, just that constant. Obviously, we're gonna run the plays that we're called. We're gonna pay attention in installs, but once we get that kind of base level, we want to make it our own. We want to make sure we're on the same page, and we appreciate the coaches for wanting that for us, making sure we take ownership. So I think it's just that stress to make sure that we make it our own and we take ownership of everything we're doing. That's been pushing us to grow.
I love hearing that. Hey, chance to take ownership. There's a lot of communication. From what we've seen, Victoria, what we've heard, there's a clear plan in place this offseason.
And I love that. That's what they need.
should.
Yes.
You should. And it's we'll dive more into this here in a little bit, but it seems like from players, what we talked about is that it's very refreshing knowing that there is a plan. Like, hey, this is what we're doing this offseason. This is our progression. This is where we want to get to, as opposed to, hey, here's the playbook. All right, we're going to run these things today.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things like, what do they call those boards that you make? The, like, dream boards. They always tell you to map out your goals.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
That way you can hold yourself accountable.
Vision boards.
Yes, vision boards. That's it.
Yes, they're Dave Canales' vision board.
Right, you know
It's
Dave
up
has
there.
a vision board.
Oh, you know he does. His vision board is a vision board.
Yeah.
That's part of it, is another vision board. It's just built in. So when you look at Bryce Young, I'm gonna look at Bryce Young specifically right here. The way the offense, roster-wise, has been reconstructed. You brought in 2 new offensive guards in Robert Hunt and Damian Lewis. My apologies on that. Blended the two together. But Robert Hunt, Damian Lewis, you brought in 2 starting offensive linemen. For the interior offensive line, that looked like turnstiles at a metro station last year, is what they looked like. Everyone just coming through. Revolving door. Tons of injuries and all that too. They got him a true number 1 wideout in Deontay Johnson. They drafted Xavier Legette. Xavier Legette dealing with that little hamstring thing, being super cautious of it. That's totally fine. They drafted a running back in Jonathan Brooks in the second round. They drafted another tight end in Jatavian Sanders. There's so much that's being built up around him. This almost is like a second rookie season, I guess you could say, for Bryce Young. But there's so much that he's learned. And last year, again, as I said, was a complete and total disaster as a team as a whole. Complete and total disaster. From Reich had play calling, handed over to Thomas Brown, the offensive coordinator. Then Reich takes it back over because he realized that, you know what, this plane's in a nosedive. I'm going down with the ship. At least I'm going to be holding the stick. Pilot this thing. I'm going to be the one holding it. He gets fired, so it goes back to Thomas Brown. The offense we saw in the preseason, we were told, hey, we're keeping everything super vanilla right now because we don't want anyone to see anything. Everyone's like, all right, cool. And then the regular season rolls around like, no, it's the same stuff. It's the exact same thing. So really what was different? Nothing changed. It was bad all from the get-go. But for Bryce Young, I think it is imperative for him. So much was spent on him to be a first overall pick. And it's not his fault. Not his fault the Carolina Panthers traded away everything they did to get to number 1.
No.
Not his fault. That's not him.
Did. Yeah.
But they did. You were brought in to be the guy. This year, I think he must, he doesn't have to, he needs to take steps to show that, hey, you know what? I was worthy of being that number 1 overall pick, and I can be the guy for this team moving forward. By the way, if you go on the flagship station for the Adam Gold Show, 99.9 The Fan. Victoria posts clips from the Adam Gold Show. You can actually watch the show there if you're not able to listen to your radio. You can be anywhere and watch the stream live on YouTube. Myself and Chris Lee from WREL Sports, we also host a podcast called Panthers Playbook. Those videos are up there as well on YouTube. And we look through the comment section all the time. What people say, what fans are thinking, that we can kind of get a pulse of what fans are thinking. And Victoria, I don't know if you've noticed this, but I've seen this as well. Bryce Young is polarizing.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He's extremely polarizing,
He is.
It's there's some people think like, hey, you know what? I don't think this guy's good enough, or he hasn't shown me anything in that first year. But people would leave out the context of everything around it was a disaster.
Yeah, it was just him by himself.
Granted, he also didn't play well himself either.
Sure.
I'm not absolving him from any blame.
Sure, but he had him and Adam Thielen.
That was it.
Yeah.
And Chuba Hubbard to an extent.
Right.
Later on in the season. But nonetheless, it seems like, we'll probably need to dive into this a little bit later on, that there's a group of people out there, fan base. I don't know if it's a small majority, but they're the loud majority, or like a small minority of people, but the loud majority in terms of comments, that almost feel like they want Bryce Young to fail.
Yeah.
Which is really odd to me. If you think, hey, you know what? I don't think he's the guy. I didn't think he was the guy. He's undersized, all that kind of stuff, blah, blah, blah. If you don't think he's the guy, okay, then you don't think he's the guy. But I've seen in comments and people say, and even tweet at me saying like, oh, that guy stinks. I hope he gets benched. They need to cut him, all that kind of stuff. It's like, well, do you not want him to be successful?
Well, and these are also the same fans that probably will say, let's go, keep pounding when they do well. Like, it's
yes,
same.
there's also that too. But it's amazing how polarizing he is after one season when everything around him was a disaster.
Yeah, you have to look at the whole picture.
You have to
not
look at
just
the whole
that.
picture. And I think this is something that we lose a lot in sports world. I mean, obviously, people that sit and talk into microphones like I do lose that context too when they're talking about these things. And they don't really provide all that when discussing players and teams and such. But with Bryce, again, everything around it was a disaster. But I still think so much of this year is important for him to show that, yeah, I can be the guy for this team. I can play in this league. I can be a franchise player. Like, he has to take a massive leap this year because what we all hear with Canales and the offensive putting in, run first, play action. They got you the different personnel that's built around you. Let's see progress this year.
Please.
Like, in a good way.
Yeah.
In a good way. Like, progress.
That's all I want. As a Panther fan, that's all I want is progression.
And isn't that what you want? Like, again, the people that I see that basically want Bryce Young to fail confuse me because that tells me if you want Bryce to fail, that means you want your team to lose.
Right. You're not supporting the team.
I'm like, so do you want them to win?
Are these all like Falcons, Bucks, and Saint fans?
They might be
Like-
undercover. They might be
Maybe
undercover.
that's what well, and I can also see, too, because I'm in that category where, no, I did not want us to go for a quarterback like we did. So, yeah, I didn't like their decision with that. I wanted us to make more solid O-line and, fix those gaps first. However, we did what we did. We have Bryce. Now I want to see this year. I'm a little apprehensive. I'm optimistic, but this year I just want to see progression.
That's it.
And with Dave's plans, I'm glad he's got a vision board. I just want it to come true.
Honestly, you know what I think what it is? I think I'm this is what I'm realizing. Is that Bryce Young is a reflection of David Tepper because we all know that David Tepper influenced that pick, right? To trade up to go, all right, we're taking that guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's a reflection of Tepper. Who's the one person that 99.9% of Panthers fans despise?
That would be Mr. David Tepper.
David Tepper. Mr. Tepper.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So guess what? Bryce Young's a reflection of that and the choices that he made. So you know what? People are pissed off at David Tepper, and guess who takes the brunt of that because who's the face of the decisions that he made? It's Bryce Young. So it's almost like, you know what? I want Bryce to fail because I want Tepper to fail because I hate David Tepper. I think that might be what it is, Victoria.
It could be. I'm sure it is.
It's an underlying subconscious feeling.
Yeah, I know, and I am right there with you because he's done nothing but bring this franchise down since he got it.
Yeah, I know.
So, and that's why it's also very frustrating as a Panthers fan when you can see year after year what they need to do. And I felt really good when Steve Wilkes was the head coach, interim head coach the last half of the year. I felt good about it. I felt like we were going in the right direction, and then here he goes making a roster switch again, and it's just so it's just frustrating, and I'm sure that's frustration. But you got to be. You don't have to be like Dave Canales where you're overly optimistic. I get it. Some people are just not built that way, but don't hate on your own team. Like, we want to be successful.
Don't worry. At 1:15, we'll dive into Canales and the plan that he has, but also how he's building the culture of the team. That's going to be coming up at 1:15. This is the Adam Gold Show. Dennis Cox sitting in for Adam Gold at 12:45 every single day. Victoria, she tees him up. I drill some clappers, one-timers coming up.
Serving it up hot and fresh every day. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
When the power goes out, your life is disrupted. Heat, air conditioning, refrigeration, phones, all gone. Be prepared for the next outage with a Generac home standby generator. After sensing a power outage, a Generac generator automatically restores your home's power, whether you're home or away. Power your life with a Generac home standby generator. Act now for a free 10-year warranty on a Generac home standby generator. Terms and conditions apply. See more at alternativepower.com. Alternative Power, North Carolina's Generac experts.
The NBA Finals are here, and FanDuel is giving you the chance to win alongside the champions because right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets with a winning $5 wager. That's $200 to use on same-game parlays, live betting, and so much more. There's no better place to bet on all the finals action than America's #1 sportsbook. Go to FanDuel.com/AGS to get started. Take a shot at an extra $200 in bonus bets. FanDuel is the official sports betting partner of the NBA, and you want to make those games more interesting. FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Trust ACT Construction Equipment and Avant Articulated Loaders for the right equipment to help get your work done. Avant makes the most multifunctional loaders in the world. Whether you're a landscaping pro or homeowner serious about property maintenance, you need an Avant loader. ACT Construction Equipment is your authorized Avant dealer for sales, service, part, and rentals. Visit one of our 7 locations or actce.com for more details about Avant Articulated Loaders. ACT Construction Equipment, always the right equipment for the job.
Deep in the Sandhills sits a North Carolina gem, Pinehurst. Uncover the stories behind this legendary golf destination in the new PBS NC special. It's a beautiful day in Pinehurst. Step onto its hallowed grounds, where golf's greatest players have made history, and learn what sets Pinehurst apart, from its humble origins to its modern-day status as the cradle of American golf. Stream It's a Beautiful Day in Pinehurst for free now on the PBS app.
Think it's too pricey to pursue your interest and earn a degree? Well, if you're a North Carolinian from a household making $80,000 or less, think again. The next NC Scholarship could cover more than half, if not all, of your tuition and fees at any NC community college or public university. This is money that doesn't have to be repaid. The next NC Scholarship helps you know what you're getting because it combines federal and state-funded financial aid to form a new, simplified award. We're talking at least $3,000 for community college or $5,000 for a public university, making the cost of education more manageable. The next NC Scholarship also helps you know where you're going, because you could see how much you could get to pay for the schools you're interested in. So picking the right path for you in your future is now easier than ever. Applying is as simple as filling out the FAFSA. Dig into the details at nextncscholarship.org. The next NC Scholarship. Know what you're getting, know where you're going.
If you pay your city or town for electricity, you live in a public power community. Our public power providers in North Carolina keep the power on 99.9% of the time. That averages out to be less than 1 hour a year without power. Public power line workers who work day and night, rain or shine, are key to that unbeaten reliability. Better reliability, fewer outages, faster restoration. That's the value of public power. Learn more at electricities.com.
This is Adam Gold.
It was crazy, too. After the first period, the shots on goal, the Maple Leafs goalie didn't even have to do anything most of the game.
Yeah, Joseph Wall was bored.
Yes.
In the first
period. He was
period.
knitting a sweater at one point. I mean,
lovely. A lovely sweater.
He was making syrup. I mean, it was weird.
The Adam Gold Show.
I have not heard this song in a minute, Victoria.
I know. I know. I found it, and I was like, oh, I got to play here. Hey, I had to play this.
Gosh, I love it. Actually, it's a little, time warp. And actually at 1 o'clock, because it's a little bit of a nostalgia, you know, we can listen to hear a song like that, depending on your age range, right? Everyone has nostalgia in some way, shape, or form.
Like a window, too.
I'll get into why the nostalgia of Tiger Woods, subconsciously, I think for us as humans, as people, the reason why we want to see Tiger succeed is because we don't want to admit that we are getting old. We'll have to get into that more at 1 o'clock.
But
true. Until then, Victoria,
got
some one-timers.
All right, so we just did a little football talk.
We
did. I will continue that with Greeny. So he recently said that he
Mike
didn't.
Greenberg, that is?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Mike Greenberg.
ESPN.
So he said earlier today, he didn't really like the way Robert Sala, was handling Rodgers not participating in minicamp.
Okay.
So in case people didn't know, Aaron Rodgers did not participate in the Jets minicamp. He said that it kind of gave an appearance as though maybe someone on the team isn't happy with Aaron Rodgers, like maybe as a whole, or just not showing up to minicamp.
Imagine that.
So, exactly. Do you feel that it was that necessary for Aaron to be at the Jets minicamp?
I think it is, because it's a mandatory thing and you knew it, and I think it also sends a message. It's funny because Rodgers, I remember they played it back at the end of last season, so this has been 5 months ago in early January, where he said, yeah, we got to eliminate the BS and keep stuff in-house. Then it's time for mandatory minicamp. Who's not there? Oh, you.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you want to eliminate BS?
Just
Dude,
stirring that up.
You are. Like, you are that.
Right.
Like, you're doing the thing that you spoke of 5 months ago about trying to get rid of. You're being that right now. So, like, dude, you can't talk out of both sides of your mouth, man.
Yeah.
It's just, and I think it was important for Robert Saleh to say that, you know what? He communicated that he was going to be here, and it was for an event. Whatever that event is, we don't know, but it was an unexcused thing. Like, it was not an excused thing when the team can find him. You know what? Saleh still has the other guys in that locker room that, you know what? Accountability is the thing, and everyone has to be held to a standard.
Like the Carolina Panthers are doing now.
Exactly. Everyone has to be held to a standard, and if it's an inexcused or unexcused absence, then you know what? We're going to say so, because eventually it's going to come out if it's excused or not, because if the team finds him for not being there because it's unexcused, then guess what? That's going to get reported and all that stuff. So, and then people are going to start questioning, well, wait, now, so here's the thing. There are legit excuses for not being there.
Sure.
Because, for example, family situation, funeral, birth of a child, whatever
Stuff
it might
happens.
be.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? This has been planned for a year. My brother's getting married or whatever it might be. I'm going to be out of town. Like, okay, that's fine. Like, they're family things, or you yourself, like, have something personal that you're going through. Again, there are excused things, but for him to say it is quite telling.
Yeah, exactly.
That's enough Aaron Rodgers talk. Already exhausted.
Next on
Still
time.
got 2 hours of the show left.
Ayahuasca. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
So the Mavs last night were not able to get a home win in their third game against the Boston Celtics. So I kind of feel like I already know the answer to this. Who do you think they're going to get swept? And if not, how much longer will it take for them to finish this off?
I think that what they call a gentleman's sweep. 5 games.
Yeah.
It's like Dallas will win 1 at home, which will be Friday, and then Boston at home for Game 5, which will be on Monday next week. We'll take the series in 5.
Yeah.
That's the way I think. There's no way they're coming back.
Yeah.
Just because the supporting cast around like some of their top guys just isn't the level of what Boston has right now.
Yeah. Well, and talking earlier, like you mentioned, the likelihood is unlikely.
Yes, I think it's 156-0 when teams run 3-0.
Yeah, exactly.
In the NBA.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
So,
but hey, someone's got to be the first.
Yeah. Well, in the case that they do get swept, the Mavericks, that is, would that be more telling for you when it comes to the Celtics or the Mavs in this series? Is it more, about how well the Celtics were playing versus how the Mavs dropped the ball?
I think it's more telling about how well the Celtics are built and how well they're playing. And I think experience matters, and the fact that they've gotten to Eastern Conference Finals, or NBA Finals, and have been there and experienced what it's like. Okay, you know what? We got that close. What do I need to do better or slightly different to take me to that next step, to that next level? Boston's been there and been through that. They know what it's like to lose in that situation. Very few guys. I mean, Kyrie Irving's been doing NBA Finals. That was, 8 years ago, I think, with Cleveland when they won the NBA Finals back then? Yes, 2016. So, yeah, 8 years. It's outside of that, Luka's never been to an NBA Finals. Derek Lively's a rookie. PJ Washington's never been in the NBA playoffs because he played for the Hornets previously. I mean, outside of maybe like the play-in tournament. But nonetheless, this is Boston's this is Dallas's first time really experiencing it. Boston, the way they've built their team, they know how to handle the situation better now. So I think it's more telling of what Boston, their roster construction, and everything that they've done, and how Tatum and Brown and some of the others have elevated their game over the years.
Okay. Well, and last one on the NBA Finals. So Stephen A. recently said this morning that, in case you did not see the game yesterday, Luka did get fouled out. So he did not play the last, 4 minutes of the game.
Yeah, he fouled out with a few minutes left.
So Stephen A. said that Luka was selfish and lacked accountability. Would you agree or disagree with that?
I think there's some validity to that because, as I said to open the show in that opening segment, where how you respond matters. And I think Luka, the frustration of felt like he wasn't getting calls. We saw that in the first half. It's like, hey, why I got contact. There's foul here. And some of them were legit gripes. They really were. You watch the replays. You're like, well, yeah, he got, hacked on the arm twice. There are you can legitimately say, yeah, he fell apart there late in the game. But I think it was a cumulative build up to that point of not getting calls. Then he took some bad ones himself. And that's, again, selfishness does play into that. Not like, screw my team type selfishness. It's, I'm going to let my frustration and emotions get the best of me, and I'm not putting the team first. That's really it. It's team first. Sometimes you got to put that stuff, those frustrations aside. It's about team first. And he had a bad moment.
Yeah.
I don't think it's not a reflection of him as a player as a whole and who he is.
Yeah.
It was a bad moment.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it was. It was a bad moment. Nothing more than that.
Yeah. Well, and last but not least,
hit me with one more.
Since you were out there yesterday at Pinehurst,
yes.
I know you and I aren't as into golfing as much as, Adam Gold is, but since you were out there and you got to see it firsthand,
yeah.
Who do you think's going to be successful in this tournament?
I actually picked yesterday Victor Hovland because I saw him on the driving range and he was mashing 700 yarders. I think he was hitting balls that landed in Chatham County. I think it's where he was. It's the Adam Gold Show. Dennis Cox sitting in for Adam Gold. Some nostalgia. Tiger Woods coming up.
Raleigh to Boone, Charlotte to Chapel Hill. Your Carolina is covered. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, Tim Donnelly here for DraftKings. We are this close to crowning an NBA champ, and with the action heating up on the court, it's even hotter at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. It's super easy to get started with DraftKings if you're a first-timer. Try betting on something like a team to win. Go to DraftKings Sportsbook app, select your team, and place your first bet. It's that simple. And if you're new to DraftKings, you got to check this out. New customers bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code TIMD. That's code TIMD for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Deposit and eligibility restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
If you see me stopped in the McDonald's drive-thru, just staring at the menu with my "what should I order" face, don't interrupt. It's the most important decision I'll make all day.
Enjoy savings every day when you get a McDouble, McChicken, and other faves. Buy one, get one for $1. Plus, get any size Dr. Pepper for just $1.29. Price and participation may vary. Valid for product of equal or lesser value. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds, which could be life-changing.
I mean, you could put that money towards that zero-turn lawnmower you've always wanted. And after using its head-shaping technology to meticulously sculpt the face of the Mona Lisa into your grass, you'll become the undisputed king of Saturday morning lawn care, leaving your neighbor and sworn enemy Gary to question his place in the delicate neighborhood ecosystem. And it's all because you could save money switching at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
Rise and shine, honey. We don't want to miss our flight.
Our flight is in 7 hours. And we have TSA PreCheck with our Navy Federal flagship credit card.
TSA PreCheck? Getting my bugle through security will be so much easier now.
Learn how you can earn up to 3 times points on travel with the flagship credit card at NavyFederal.org. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Insured by NCUA.
Get bonus days to save during Window Nation's semi-annual sale now through June 30th. Get 50% off all windows along with no interest for 5 years, plus a bonus 10% savings when you schedule an estimate at 866-90-NATION or windownation.com.
It's here. The Chatley Boat and Marine Inventory Reduction Sale featuring Yamaha boats for 6 days only, June 10th through the 15th. Boats as low as $300 a month. Rebates up to $8,000 plus special financing. Large inventory ready for immediate delivery. All boats are water tested before delivery on the Chatley on-site test lake. The Inventory Reduction Sale featuring Yamaha boats June 10th through the 15th. Open nightly until 6:30, Saturday until 3. Only at Chatley Boat and Marine in Sanford.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
He scores! What a comeback! Visit GotBryan.com. That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
First time in the history of this 8-team format. We've had only 2 conferences represented, and it's 4-4, which I think is kind of fun. Of course, we're hearing from people on Twitter and other parts of the country who are just totally demoralized about the whole thing. And, there's a lot of resentment out there toward, especially the SEC, but to a lesser degree as well, the ACC, from people in different parts of the country. And a lot of them are going to check out. But you know what? In college baseball, there are a lot more people who really care about the ACC and the SEC. And this is kind of the way the balance of power has shifted, and it's really reflected in this field.
They're just jealous, Victoria. They're just jealous.
Yeah, they are.
The ACC-SEC Baseball Challenge starts tomorrow in Omaha.
I love it.
Also known as the College World Series for ACC schools, for SEC schools.
Even Stevens.
You know what? There's a chance that we could have an NC State-UNC College World Series final.
Yes, and I love that so much.
Here's the thing. If that's the case, move it to Durham Bulls Athletic Park.
Why not?
Let's
do
do it.
it.
No, it's supposed to be Omaha. No. Just go ahead and move it to Durham Bulls Athletic Park.
It'll be way more fun. It'll look better.
That place would be packed.
Oh,
That place would be
100%.
insane.
Yes.
That would be
Oh,
wild.
man. Could you imagine the atmosphere, too? Because
Oh,
not only would it
gosh.
be packed on the inside, but I feel like everyone in the state would just surround it.
Yeah,
like
pretty awesome.
every bar, every empty parking lot. Oh, yeah, it would be full. That'd
So
be
cool.
awesome.
Dennis Cox sitting in for Adam Gold this afternoon. This is the Adam Gold Show. Victoria producing the show as always. Adam is off. The U.S. Open's taking place right now. Patrick Cantlay in the lead right now. He is 5 under par. Tony Finau, Matthew Pavon, and a bunch are tied at 3 under. A couple of guys. Ludwig Aberg are at 3 under as well.
A Pinehurst Sounder.
Oh, yes, we do.
That's our update.
Yes! Let's go!
That's our update.
That is the Sounder. So Patrick Cantlay actually just completed his round. He finished at 5 under today. So he finished his round at 5 under. Ludwig Aberg just is through 17. He is 3 under par along with Tony Finau and a host of others. There's actually several guys that have already finished their round today. Some guys are even get to tee off. But for example, Colin Morikawa, we talked about the grind that this tournament can be for guys. Just looking at Colin Morikawa, finished the opening round at even par. Finished for opening round at even.
Wow.
In his round, he had a bogey, 2 double bogeys, and 5 birdies. You want to talk about grinding it out, including birding the last 2 holes that he played to just get to even. And the last one was like an uphill putt that broke from right to left. I mean, it was not an easy putt. He sank it, and he was pumped that he's like, hey, that's how I finished this round. I finished this round on a high note. Just to finish even, like, props to him.
Yeah.
Like, props to him. Brooks Koepka also finished his round at even par with a bunch of others. Justin Rose is +1. Tiger Woods, not doing so well, Victoria.
Oh, no.
Tiger Woods struggling a bit. Justin Thomas, by the way, +7. Phil Mickelson finished his round at +9.
Oh.
Yeah, not good. Tiger Woods finished his round +4. And I was thinking about this yesterday. So Adam, myself, and a couple other people here from the station where we're located in Raleigh, we actually took a trip down to Pinehurst yesterday. We did the show from down there. And we all say Tiger Woods is the needle of golf, right? Tiger Woods, I was talking with Tim Donnelly, who hosts the afternoon show in Raleigh on 99.9 The Fan from 3 to 6, known as The Drive, with Tim Donnelly. He was out on the driving range, and there's Tiger Woods out there teeing off, and he's on the practice green. Where's everyone looking? Tiger, right? Everyone's looking at Tiger Woods. And on the, just down the range a little bit is, Scotty Scheffler, who's the favorite to win this whole thing.
Right.
And has won 5 tournaments this year.
He's still plus money, too. Well, he was yesterday. I have not checked today.
I think he was +300 to win. By far the betting favorite to win the whole darn thing. He's the best golfer in the world right now.
Right.
Hardly anyone paying a lick of attention to the guy. And I know Adam talked about it yesterday. He's like, look, Tiger, he doesn't have a chance to win this thing. If he makes the cut, celebrate that because you get 2 more days of watching Tiger play golf. But let's be honest, folks. So some people that hold out the hope that Tiger might potentially, you never know. He might push the sun up above the horizon one last time. It's not going to do it. And I was thinking about this last night, especially when I was driving back, is that for people my age, I remember Tiger Woods. I turned 38 in a couple weeks. So I'm giving you my age. I turned 38 in a couple weeks. So I'm like, Victoria, I know you and I are roughly in that same generation, 90s kids to the fullest. Watching sports, I remember 97, the Masters, Tiger Woods. I remember Pebble Beach and all that. I remember all the dominant performances of Tiger Woods. I was there. That was a young kid. I mean, preteen, teenager, and all that kind of stuff. I was locked in on all of it. And I was thinking about how, I was like, gosh, that was 20-something years ago. I was thinking about that. I was like, because I saw Tiger yesterday, I was like, yo, that was one of my idol athletes as a kid, right? Just how dominant he was, how different he was, and just how he played was just a little bit different than everyone else. Just just how physically gifted he was and everything. And I thought, man, that was 20 years ago. If not more. That was 25 years ago.
It's crazy,
really.
Yeah.
25 years ago. And I was thinking about how in society these days, and I think sports is obviously a microcosm of society, about how nostalgia is such a big thing, right? What do we see pop up so much nowadays, Victoria? 90s stuff, right? Oh, 90s shows, 90s movies, bring back old 90s classics and all those kinds of things.
Even fashion from back then.
Exactly. Fashion, movies, television. Gosh, if you're a Marvel comic or just a comic book fan like I am, who remembers Saturday morning cartoons eating cereal?
Every time.
You remember the X-Men cartoon from the 90s?
Oh, yeah.
You know if they rebooted?
Yeah.
Not rebooted, just started it back up, just picked up where the story left off?
Yep.
The X-Men cartoon.
Yeah.
And they literally call it X-Men 97 because that's where it picks up.
All right.
From 97. The nostalgia thing is man, here I am, 37, turning 38 years old, watching cartoons on my couch, and it's X-Men. And you know what? I was locked in.
Oh, yeah.
I loved it.
You know what? You should do it again. Get the Captain Crunch.
And that's exactly what I was eating. It's exactly what I was eating watching it. And it was stark reminders that when we see these things, it was a reminder man, remember when things were like this? It's like that. It's that nostalgia. Remember when? So when we see Tiger Woods, we're like, oh, man, remember when? Remember when back in 97? Remember when in 2001? Remember when? And when we see a guy like Tiger Woods no longer be what he was, it reminds us that, hey, you know what? We are no longer what we were. Our lives are no longer what they were. And we think back to that simpler time where Saturday morning cartoons, Victoria, or, you know what, riding the bike, playing with my friends, little video games, boom, hit a Blockbuster, rent a movie. You know, that kind of deal. That part of our lives is no longer there. That shifted. It's changed. And it's just natural. It's just what it is. But it's a reminder of like, man, that part of my life's gone. And I'm never, it's like, you know what? I turned 38 in a couple weeks. I'm like, yeah, I'm still young. I'm only 38.
Right, yeah.
But it's also like, yeah, I'm not 22 anymore. I'm not 24.
And you know the best way to like feel that you're not 20 whatever anymore?
What's that?
You see a 20 whatever.
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
Like,
oh,
I'm
God,
definitely not 22.
I coached college women's lacrosse for 9 total years, and I actually stopped recently. It's just about a few seasons ago, and I was like, man, okay. They kept me young, as I like to say. But when we see Tiger struggle, I think sometimes it's a reminder of us. It's like, man, wait, what was? Because again, it's that memory is like, oh, that's a core memory for when I was like a teenager or when I was a kid watching Tiger, turning on SportsCenter. Ooh, how'd Tiger do in the tournament? What's Tiger doing? Let's turn on the U.S. Open because, I want to see what Tiger's doing because he was so dominant. We remember that. And then now when we see him, it's like, he's no longer that. And it's a reminder to me that I'm also no longer that. Which kind of, it hits you a little bit. This is, again, the reason why we see like 90s movies and cartoons and stuff making all these comebacks and especially all these movies like reboots and remakes and build off of the stuff from the 90s because it hits people like you and I, Victoria.
Mm-hmm. Now we're old enough to make those reboots.
Well, yeah, we're old enough to make them, but it helps build in, obviously, there's the next generation.
Yeah.
Like, for example, they're making a Toy Story 5.
I know. What is going on?
You know who's going to enjoy that? Me. Because
Yes.
I remember when I was 10 years old when the first one came out.
Another one they keep making, which is a little older than when we were kids, but Fast and Furious. Like they're making a Fast and Furious 29 or something.
I think that's done.
Yeah.
That should be done. But still, when we see Tiger Woods, I think the reason why, I think subconsciously on a lower level, not the complete reason why, but we want to see our favorite athletes still be like the best in the top. And I think that's the reason why. I guess remember when Phil Mickelson won a major a few years ago when he was like 49, 50 years old? People went nuts. Like, oh my God, you see this? Like, it's crazy. It's like, oh yeah, we got to relive our glory days vicariously for a moment. I think that's kind of what we want to do. I might be wrong on that. I might be just speaking for you. I might just be projecting, Victoria.
I think a lot of people can relate.
Yeah, but there's a reason why, like, we still watch the same movies and the same TV shows from back in the day because there's comfort in that. There's comfort knowing that Tiger Woods is still out there playing golf.
Yeah.
The question is, will we be playing on Saturday and Sunday?
Ugh, yeah.
And it's not looking good because he's +4 right now.
Oh, no.
But hey, you know what? It is what it is. Patrick Cantlay, the leader in the clubhouse right now. He's 5 under. Still a bunch of guys who have yet to even tee off today. Guys, for example, like Scotty Scheffler is about to tee off here in about literally 3 minutes, along with Xander Schauffele. He's got a 1:14 tee time. Rory McIlroy is going to tee off here in 3 minutes. Wyndham Clark, North Carolina guy, teeing off in about 1:25. Bryson DeChambeau at 1:25. Victor Hovland, my pick to win the whole darn thing, teeing off at 1:25 as well. Jordan Spieth, 1:36. So a whole mess of really great golfers still yet to play today. This is the Adam Gold Show. Dennis Cox sitting in for Adam Gold this afternoon. Victoria producing the show, as always. Carolina Panthers wrapped up minicamp this week. Mandatory minicamp. They're not going to get back together until training camp in July. There are subtle ways that Panthers players have been talking about this offseason that should have you excited about the trajectory of the team.
Going beyond the box scores. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
99.9 The Fan and Arise Urology Clinic present Men's Health Month. Smoking causes cancer, heart disease, a greater risk of stroke, and increased risk of erectile dysfunction. Start your winning streak now and commit to quit. You'll fix your organs, get your looks back, and end the smoker's cough. The long-term benefits lower the chance of death and decrease your danger to your body for your future. Men's Health Month is powered by Arise. Call Arise Urology Clinic for Men at 919-964-3750 or visit corewavetherapy.com.
Hey, it's Roger Moore, CEO of Loan Pronto. If you're like me, you're getting crushed by rising costs of everything these days. I get it. It's brutal, and credit card rates are ridiculous and going higher. That's why at Loan Pronto, we launched our Express Equity Line of Credit to bring you the relief you and your family need, using your home, your most valuable asset. We've helped thousands of people like you get fast relief with cash. The average homeowner who does this gets tens of thousands in just days and is able to save $850 per month in overall expenses. I'm talking life-changing money, your money that you have access to right now. Listen, if you're ready to get control of your finances and get off the hamster wheel, call Loan Pronto. You can get approved for Express Equity Line of Credit in just minutes, and we can get your cash in less than a week. Stop digging a deeper credit card hole today. Call Loan Pronto now. 919-381-1760. 919-381-1760. LoanPronto.com. 919-381-1760.
Equal housing lender. NMLS 1661781. Subject to lender approval. NMLS consumeraccess.org.
It's bow time. Listen up, because we've got some big news to share. You might want to sit down for this. Bow Sauce is back at Bojangles. If you think you missed it, just imagine how our Supremes must have felt. Because there's no better sauce to pair with our crispy golden chicken Supremes. They're already boldly seasoned to perfection, but add Bow Sauce and you can taste a truly legendary combination that will make you want to yell, "It's bow time." So don't wait. Grab a Supreme and dip into some Bow Sauce. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing to satisfy your craving for flavor with a Bojangles Chicken Supremes dinner. Choose a 3-piece or 4-piece Supremes dinner. Get your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea. And don't forget the sauce for dipping, because Bow Sauce is back. That's right, Bow Sauce is back. Hungry for flavor and value and love the Bow Sauce? Then it's bow time.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9313. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9313. That's 800-575-9313. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Injured in a motorcycle accident? Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS before you call your insurance company. The insurance company wants to pay you the least amount possible. Law Tigers are riders too, so we understand what your bike and gear are worth and what you're going through after an accident. Your case evaluation is always free, and we don't get paid until your case settles. Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
This is Adam Gold.
There are people out there that just, you must draft a quarterback.
Yeah, why you don't want a quarterback?
Yeah, exactly. What is wrong with you? Oh, you don't want apple pie?
Right.
Come on.
A la mode? Oh, maybe I like brownies, okay?
I don't want it there.
The temptation.
Yeah, I don't need it. Because I can convince myself, apple's healthy.
Right.
The Adam Gold Show.
But why eat an apple when you can have a brownie?
Exactly.
That's the way I look at it.
Exactly.
Dennis Cox sitting in for Adam Gold this afternoon. Victoria producing the show once again today. By the way, Adam is out until Wednesday next week. I'll be back tomorrow. I'll be here on Monday and Tuesday next week. I don't know if he might actually be at the U.S. Open right now.
He could be. I think his son does have some soccer things that he had going on. So
he's like,
a lot of soccering, football with the feet.
Son, go deal with that later.
The U.S. Open's here.
The U.S. Open is here. We'll dive into the U.S. Open here in a sec. But as I said going into the break, there are subtle ways that the Panthers players, current Panthers players, are talking about the offseason. And it's not just the offense as a whole, because Dave Canales is also the offensive coordinator, the new head coach. But the way they're talking about the offseason, that should have you optimistic about the future if you're a Carolina Panther fan. I'm not sitting here going to say, playoffs, playoffs right now this year. I mean, unless you're going to do it. But I think a lot of logical Panthers fans are like, hey, you know what? The roster, still a lot of holes.
Right.
Not a lot of depth. It's gotten better.
Hitting
on paper.
500 would be great.
Oh, gosh, if they're like 8-9, 9-8.
Yes, that would be fantastic.
Dave Canales, coach of the year.
Yes.
In all seriousness. But we are hearing a lot of words. And actually, I'm going to go, well, Victoria, let's go and play that Andy Dalton cut. This is Andy Dalton about a week ago at OTA saying since day one, there's been a plan.
I will say this, and this has nothing to do with last year. This is how everything to do with what we're doing right now. Dave and Brad came in, and they know exactly what they want. They know what they want it to look like. They know how they want to install it, and they have had a plan from the very beginning, and it's been known. And like from one of the first conversations that I've had with both those guys, it was like, this is how we're going to do it. This is how we're going to install it, and it's going to build throughout OTAs and then into training camp.
Okay. Nay, look, not going to compare, again, not comparing to last year, but this year, this is how things are different.
He even sounded confident.
Yes.
You could hear it in his voice.
You can hear it in every single one of these players' voices, including Bryce Young saying, hey, there's a clear picture from Dave Canales.
I think he's done a great job of his approach towards it. It was at first, he told us, he was transparent. It's like, hey, we're going to have these concepts and we're going to, we're going to have a day one install. Hey, this is the first time we've seen it from when we first came together, first week of phase one. We're going to walk through things or jog through things, whatever it may be. But we're going to have we're going to stick to the drawings. We're going to figure that out. And then, all right, this is our second time through. So now we can get to kind of that 200 level teaching of, all right, here's the little nuances of routes. Here's a little feel of the concepts. And now, having rep things 3-4 times, multiple days in the script, him being there for, this is time for us to learn, time for us to grow. So the little things, now is the time to have the conversation and get as many reps as we can. And I think him having that constant line of communication with all of us of the little intricate details, it gives us a really clear picture of what we're doing, what we're working towards, and it'll definitely pay off in the end.
All right, key buzzwords I'm hearing here, Victoria. Intentional, plan, clear communication, the why. Did we hear anything like this at all last offseason?
No.
None. Nothing.
I can't remember
Not even
one time.
Close.
Mm-mm.
Not even close. The way you hear players talking about the offseason, from Bryce Young to Andy Dalton to we've even heard Miles Sanders saying, like, hey, we're planning on running the football as a running back. I like that, even though he's not practicing right now because he's dealing with a heel injury. But nonetheless, there is a plan put in place. And even talk about, for example, when Ike Ekwonu a couple weeks ago talked to the media during OTAs, how he even said that this offseason he took accountability for the fact that he kind of was riding the coattails of his rookie year, didn't really use the resources and all that. But he also understood that this team is going to be built on running the football. And Dave Canales said, yeah, we're going to play to his strengths. We know what he can do, where he's great, and it's running the ball. So we're going to lean into that, right?
Which is frustrating. We weren't doing that to begin with.
Well, yes.
You should always play into the player's strengths.
Yeah, well, again, that's when you have...
Yeah.
But that's also leads into the fact with that coaching staff that we saw last year, that all-star offensive coaching staff that we saw got put together, there was no plan. We heard the plans or the intentions for Bryce Young in terms of, well, this one coach thought this, and another coach thought they needed to do this, and another coach thought this needed to happen. So you had like 5 people pulling in 5 different directions. You had coaches going past Frank Reich up to straight to the owner in David Tepper, complaining and whining or whatever it was. There was dysfunction. But with Canales, you know what? There's a plan, and clearly there's a culture that he wants to set. From communication, understanding why, being intentional, that's part of your culture. When's the last time the Carolina Panthers had a defined culture as a team?
Oh, it's been a minute.
It's been a minute. Well, actually, we had it for a glimpse when Steve Wilkes was the interim head coach.
Yeah, it was coming back. Yes, because Matt Rule, I think, started the whole diminishing of that. Yeah.
Matt Rule tried to run things like a college program.
Right, which isn't good in the NFL. Nope.
Did not work. And then when Wilkes did take over, again, he established an identity. It's like, again, there's no identity. He realized there's no identity for this team. Let's establish one. He did, and then they hired Frank Reich, and it blew up in everyone's face.
And you know what else Steve did? He played to people's strengths.
He did that too.
And it worked.
And this is what Dave Canales, in terms of just looking at offense right now, because, again, Dave Canales is the offensive coordinator. He said, you know what? The defense is good. Defensive staff, you're intact. Do your darn thing. But the way the offense, look at the two big signings on offense were Robert Hunt, Damian Lewis, offensive guards. They made a trade for a number 1 wide receiver. They drafted a tight end. They drafted a wide receiver first round. They drafted a running back in the second round. The tight end coming in the fourth. So 3 of your first 4 picks, offensive players. Your big trade this offseason, offensive player. 2 of your big signings, offensive linemen. Long-term projection, right? They're clearly establishing not just an identity of what they want to be in terms of how they play on offense, but who they want to be as a team, as a franchise. And that keep pounding mindset. Victoria, you know this as well as anybody as a Panthers fan. You go back to the days of Jonathan Stewart, D'Angelo Williams, Stephen Davis, Mike Tolbert, like the running of the football, right?
You guys.
Dominant offensive linemen from Khalil to Gross, all these guys that we've seen in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And also defensively, guys are going to hit you in the mouth.
Yeah.
Back in the day of Sam Mills to Dan Morgan himself to Keith Lee, all these guys. Now Shaq Thompson, hopefully Josie Jewell taking over that as well. Like, that's the linchpin. Like, that's what this team was known for a long time, right?
Yeah.
And it seems like Canales, he understands that.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Exactly.
Appreciate you.
Exactly.
Yep.
And you know what? If you can still blend that mindset with the modern day of football, I guess you can say, for lack of a better term, because obviously it's not 2002. Hey, Stephen Davis, here's 36 carries.
Right.
You know, you're
Yeah.
not doing that anymore. But if you can balance what they want to do in that mindset, again, Canales has an idea and a plan for, again, not just installing what he wants to do, X's and O's and scheme and all that kind of stuff, but for having an identity for this franchise and this team of what they want to look like on and off the field. There's a plan that should have you excited.
And I believe Dave when he says he's going to stick with the plan. That's the
Yes.
other thing, because how many times even last year did we hear, oh, this is our plan, we're going to run the ball, and then the next 10 plays we're throwing the ball.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
What?
we want to run the ball more. Look at the final stats. 16 rushes today.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Bryce throws to
Whatever.
Adam Thielen again. Like, what are we doing? You know, and this also reminds me of, like, kids, you know, little kids, how they need a routine.
Yes.
They feel more comfortable when they
Mhm.
have a routine. They have a bedtime. They have a schedule. It's the same with the team.
We all do.
Yes.
We all do.
Who doesn't get a little grumpy when our routine is messed up? So it's good to have a plan.
Be optimistic.
Yes.
Again, I'm not saying playoffs this year, but long term, there's a reason to be excited. There is. It's the Adam Gold Show. Dennis Cox sitting in for Adam Gold this afternoon. That's the Sounder U.S. Open updates from down in Pinehurst. Patrick Cantlay, 5 under.
Oh.
5 under today. Leader in the clubhouse, Ludwig Aberg. Hope I'm saying his name correctly. He's Swedish. I should be. I've watched
There's, like,
enough
dots
hockey.
and
I
things
should
in
know
his
it.
name.
There's
Yeah.
umlauts, I
Yeah.
believe, and things around there. Ludwig Aberg, he is at 4 under right now. Tony Finau bogeyed his last hole, so he's 2 under. That's how he finished up his round. Also at 3 under, I accidentally skipped Matthew Pavon. He's French.
Fancy, you have
So
to
you
have your
gotta say it,
pinkies out when you
Matthew
say
Pavon. He's 3 under par. But a lot of guys at 1 under. Sergio Garcia finishes round at 1 under. Sam Bennett right now is 1 under through 16. And a whole bunch of other guys on the course right now. Tiger Woods finished his round 4 over. That's no bueno. By the way, also, dead last, Phil Mickelson, 9 over.
that. Wow. dead
9
last.
over 79.
Wow. Interesting.
That's, again, not good today. But a lot of guys are about to tee off or set to tee off here shortly or on the course right now. Rory McIlroy teeing off here. Scotty Scheffler, Xander Schauffele, Max Homa, Bryson DeChambeau, Wyndham Clark, Victor Hovland, Jordan Spieth. Again, a lot of the heavy hitters are getting underway right now at the U.S. Open. So a ton going on. If you like golf, It's pretty exciting. Again, Wyndham Clark, the 2023 U.S. Open champion, he's about to tee off literally right this second. And you know what? The way things are going today, this one's either going 300 yards down the middle or he's going to be in a tree.
He's going to shank it.
Yeah, because look at Colin Morikawa finished even par. Colin Morikawa, tremendous golfer.
Wow.
But here's something that Colin Morikawa did today. He had a bogey and 2 double bogeys and 5 birdies today. He birdied his last 2 holes, and there's actually the ball goes.
They're trying to take
I spoke
people
it
out
into
now.
existence. Wyndham Clark off the very first
He's
tee
trying to take the people who work there out.
into the high brush and sand down there in Pinehurst.
Did that actually hit the person with the badge?
It may have actually.
Oh.
It may have. I always say one of my most favorite things when it comes to golf is that if a ball gets driven into the crowd or like behind the crowd that's standing along the fairways. Right. And then, so it's like along a cart path or something like that. And you just see like all these people rush over to the ball, just like surround it and stare. Like, there's a golf ball. Look at it. It's like cats with a laser pointer. Like,
yeah.
Where is it?
They really are.
Then they look like.
Look at it. There it is.
It's golf ball, folks.
Wow. It almost
Did
feels
you get
like
hit? No? Cool. Then you're good to go.
Yeah. Oh, man. It's like pinball over here.
It basically is.
Hit things.
It's the Adam Gold Show. Dennis Cox sitting in for Adam Gold. Let's actually pivot here over to the Carolina Hurricanes real fast because this offseason has been a lot of conversation. When it comes to offseason moves around just the NHL as a whole, when people are talking potential trades, when people are talking big-time free agents, you're going to see a Carolina Hurricane listed in some way, shape, or form. And a couple of those being Jake Gensel, the forward that the Carolina Hurricanes traded for at the trade deadline from the Pittsburgh Penguins, who was awesome for Carolina. He played 17 regular season games, had 8 goals and 17 assists. If you took away his goals, he'd literally be a point-per-game player. And it was basically a point-per-game player in the playoffs as well. He was phenomenal for Carolina this season. But another big name out there, Martin Necas. Forward, he's going to be a restricted free agent. I know Adam has talked a lot of Canes. I probably have a different viewpoint than Adam, which is totally fine. Nonetheless, looks like the Carolina Hurricanes are going to be trading Martin Necas this offseason. And actually, Elliot Friedman, Sportsnet, he actually talked about not just the future of Martin Necas, but also a current Carolina Hurricane that might be getting a contract extension soon.
They are going to extend Slavin. They are going to get something done with him. So it's not necessarily a job for this year, but it is looking at their cap down the future. They're going to take care of him. Now, the other things they have to do, there's varying degrees of confidence on players like Pesci and Shea, but I think the other one is going to be Necas. I think Carolina did have a plan that if they didn't like what they saw out there, that they could bring Necas back. Necas hasn't said anything publicly, but the word around the league coming out of the combine is he doesn't want to go back. And so I think Carolina is telling teams, okay, we're prepared to do this, but we consider Necas a star. They believe that outside of Brendan Moore's system, he will take off, and they are talking about a return accordingly. They expect star power in return.
I'll say this. I do not think that Martin Necas will be a Carolina Hurricane next season. I'd be shocked.
Me too.
Absolutely shocked if he's actually back this upcoming year, because clearly you hear enough rumblings from people saying, yeah, he wants out, he wants a different role. Okay, he wants out. And you constantly hear of names being floated around or teams being floated around for the star forward of the Carolina Hurricanes, Martin Necas. And this actually comes from Pierre LeBrun of The Athletic. He listed basically down, there's about 5-7 teams that are like seriously interested in Martin Necas. Looking at the Winnipeg Jets, the Chicago Blackhawks, the Montreal Canadiens, the Calgary Flames, the Boston Bruins, among teams to have shown general interest. We've heard Vancouver being floated around out there as well. By the way, I'll get to the Slavin thing here in just a second. But nonetheless, Darren Dreger, who's also one of the big-time hockey insiders, like we can think of like with football, with Adam Schefter and some of those guys, or basketball, Adrian Wojnarowski or Sham Charania. These guys, Darren Dreger, Pierre LeBrun, they're like the hockey version of that. Darren Dreger actually floated around the idea that Nikolai Ehlers from the Winnipeg Jets, going into the final year of his contract. He's 28 years old, another winger, left-handed shot. Martin Reich is a right-handed shot. But nonetheless, another winger that just might need a change of scenery. He's going into the final year of his contract, making $6 million. What about a straight-up swap? Just a straight-up trade. I thought about that. I said, all right, like they're kind of similar players. Ehlers is probably a little bit better defensively, but similar in terms of production. Ehlers this past season played all 82 games, 25 goals, 36 assists, 61 points. So roughly the same level of production. Was also plus 27, which is good. Didn't really do much of anything in the playoffs. Hasn't really done much of anything in the playoffs in his time as Winnipeg. He's played in 37 postseason games, has 4 goals, 10 assists for 14 points in 37 postseason games and a -9. I don't know if that's what you're looking for, to be honest with you, because sounds a lot like Martin Necas, if you ask me. Like last time I checked, you were looking for a star, or at least a high-quality, high-caliber player or players.
Yeah, difference maker with our team.
Yeah. I don't know if that'll happen here with Ehlers. And guess what? You're going to be in the exact same situation going into next offseason of, all right, well, this guy's going to be a free agent. What do we do with him? Do we re-sign him or do we let him walk? I don't know if I like that move or not, but nonetheless, I've seen that name floated around before. Again, I do not see Carolina Hurricanes trading for a guy like Nikolai Ehlers. Don't see it. Again, I could be wrong. I don't see that happening. As Elliot Friedman said as well, the Canes are working on a long-term extension for Jacob Slavin. Jacob Slavin is under contract for this upcoming year, so he ain't going anywhere. But I think it's vital because on July 1st, he could sign a long-term deal. The reason why you want to get a deal done with him now is because when you are looking to sign players this offseason, you know what your salary cap is going to look like for in the future for certain players. Okay, we know that in this coming year, this player is going to be a free agent. This is roughly what we're going to have available to spend. You know what your team and roster is going to look like moving forward. Jacob Slavin is one of the leaders of your team. He's one of the best defensemen in the entire NHL, and his game will age well. Because here's the thing, Victoria. He's such a great skater. He doesn't rely on heavy physicality, and his stick work is phenomenal, and the way he uses leverage with his positioning and everything, and just how he uses his stick defensively, his game is going to age well. He's going to be a player that's going to be, let's say he signs an 8-year contract extension. And he's going to be approaching age 36, 37, 38, the latter part of that contract. His game is still going to be at a high end.
Yeah.
Because he's that good of a skater and he's that good of a player, and he's been durable pretty much throughout his entire career.
That's why he's a 2-time Lady Binger.
Yes, he's a Lady Bing.
Mm-hmm.
The Lady Bing, by the way, for those who don't know, gives out to the player not only is a great player, like it shows great level of play, high-end level play, but is also like, basically, like, you're not a jerk. Like, hey, You're a great player, and you're not a jerk.
Sam Bennett is never going to
never
win
gonna
this.
win it. Never. Brad Marchand's never gonna win
win
this thing.
it. No.
But Jacob Slavin, people respect it. It's like, you know what? I think one of the reasons why he gets it is for those things that we mentioned. He is that great of a player. He is, again, not a jerk. But people are going to look and say, you know what? You don't put up the offensive numbers like some defensemen do. Not that you're not incapable. That's not the role that you play. You're not putting up Cale McCarr numbers from Colorado, things like that. So you're probably never going to win a Norris. But because you are so damn good, we're going to give you a Lady Bing trophy just to acknowledge the fact that you are freaking awesome. So I think it's one of the reasons that factors into that as well. But also, last thing on this, the Carolina Hurricanes. Can we just go ahead and name a GM already, please? Can we just go ahead and get that done?
Yeah, what are we waiting for?
Go ahead and get that done because I want to see pop up in my emails, Victoria, or pop up on social media when I look at my phone. I want to look and say, oh, Jordan Martinook, contract extension. I want to see, oh, Jake Gensel, contract extension, whatever it is. I want to see these things, but I want to know who my GM is going to be.
Yeah.
I want to know.
When are we going to have the smoke signals that let us know we've made a decision? That'd be great.
I would like to get that done.
Yeah.
Victoria, what do we got going on at the U.S. Open right now? U.S. Open down in Pinehurst. Which, by the way, seeing a lot of people. So, for those who don't know the layout of Pinehurst, and just my first time ever at the course was yesterday.
Yeah.
But in the roughs, so the USGA takes over the course, and they're able to kind of grow out some different areas. They kind of make the course their own.
So they put their own little natural obstacles in there.
Exactly. So they're like, all right, we're going to let the grass grow a little bit more rough over here. We're going to cut the fairways to a certain length, whatever it might be. Like the USGA kind of takes over that. And often the fairways, like off the rough, is basically just like high grass and sand, like when you're walking in onto the beach before you actually get to the actual shoreline.
Yes.
It's like, oh, like here's all the high grass and sand where it's say like, hey, do not disturb this area because there are turtles. That area, that's essentially what's like right off of the fairway in some of these holes.
Minus the seashells and all that extra
Exactly,
stuff.
the little prickly things that jab your feet.
Right.
So that's what you're seeing. Seeing a lot of guys tee shots landing in those areas because the fairways are pretty narrow. One thing I really learned yesterday, but nonetheless, it's the course is a bear right now. You're seeing a lot of players struggling with it, and you're going to see some wonky scores. Like for example, you're going to see some wonky scorecards. Again, I'll bring it up. Colin Morikawa finished even par, Victoria.
Yeah.
He had a bogey, 2 double bogeys, and 5 birdies.
Which feels really hard to do on this course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You're going to see those kinds of scores. And again, the greens, the way they all slope away from the middle. They call them turtle shell greens. Again, I'll bring up the analogy. If you ever play putt-putt and you got the holes on top of a mound and you're trying to the ball doesn't stay on the top of the mound, it just rolls off the side. So you're putting it over, you hit it too hard, and it just rolls back down the other side. You didn't hit it hard enough, and it just rolls right back down to you.
Yeah.
Those are the greens at Pinehurst.
Yeah, because they actually, like right before you said that, they even showed where they're trying to hit right now, the circle where you want it to go, but on the outside they have the arrows of where it's going to go if you touch that.
It's all going to slope. It's all going to slope away.
Yikes.
It just goes to show you how skilled these guys are, because sometimes the diameter of like the area where they can land the ball on the green to get it to stick, to stay on where they need it to, the diameter may only be like, the ideal spot may only be like 5 or 6 feet wide.
Yeah, not bad.
That's it.
Not when you're shooting it from 8 miles away.
And these dudes stick it.
Yeah.
It's amazing what these guys can do. It's impressive. All right, so that's the latest of the U.S. Open. Dennis Cox in again for Adam Gold this afternoon. Going to take a quick break. We come back. We got to stretch, and we got to place bets, Victoria, coming up.
Going beyond the box scores. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my good friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. With all the action coming to Pinehurst this upcoming week, FanDuel wants you to get in on all the carnage, all of the suspense, all of the goofiness down there in the Sandhills. And right now, all customers can get a profit boost for every round of this major championship. And this means you can boost your outright winners, your longest drive, your who's going to make your next birdie. You can bet on finishing position and get paid in full for ties. That is a big deal. No other sports books are doing this. Go to FanDuel.com/AGS. FanDuel.com/AGS to get started. Take advantage of your profit boost every round at Pinehurst. Must be 21 or older and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Trust ACT Construction Equipment and Avant Articulated Loaders for the right equipment to help get your work done. Avant makes the most multifunctional loaders in the world. Whether you're a landscaping pro or homeowner serious about property maintenance, you need an Avant loader. ACT Construction Equipment is your authorized Avant dealer for sales, service, part, and rentals. Visit one of our 7 locations or actce.com for more details about Avant Articulated Loaders. ACT Construction Equipment. Always the right equipment for the job.
Some call it overplanning. At Alternative Power, we call it foresight.
Be prepared for the next power outage with a Generac home standby generator. After sensing a power outage, a Generac generator automatically restores your home's power, whether you're home or away. Generac, it's not just a generator, it's a power move. Act now for a free 10-year warranty on a Generac home standby generator. Terms and conditions apply. See more at alternativepower.com. Alternative Power, North Carolina's Generac experts.
Deep in the Sandhills sits a North Carolina gem, Pinehurst. Uncover the stories behind this legendary golf destination in the new PBS NC special. It's a beautiful day in Pinehurst. Step onto its hallowed grounds, where golf's greatest players have made history, and learn what sets Pinehurst apart, from its humble origins to its modern-day status as the cradle of American golf. Stream It's a Beautiful Day in Pinehurst for free now on the PBS app.
Think it's too pricey to pursue your interest and earn a degree? Well, if you're a North Carolinian from a household making $80,000 or less, think again. The Next NC Scholarship could cover more than half, if not all, of your tuition and fees at any NC community college or public university. This is money that doesn't have to be repaid. The Next NC Scholarship helps you know what you're getting, because it combines federal and state-funded financial aid to form a new, simplified award. We're talking at least $3,000 for community college or $5,000 for a public university, making the cost of education more manageable. The Next NC Scholarship also helps you know where you're going, because you could see how much you could get to pay for the schools you're interested in. So picking the right path for you and your future is now easier than ever. Applying is as simple as filling out the FAFSA. Dig into the details at nextncscholarship.org. The Next NC Scholarship. Know what you're getting, know where you're going.
If you pay your city or town for electricity, you live in a public power community. Our public power providers in North Carolina keep the power on 99.9% of the time. That averages out to be less than 1 hour a year without power. Public power line workers who work day and night, rain or shine, are key to that unbeaten reliability. Better reliability, fewer outages, faster restoration. That's the value of public power. Learn more at electricities.com.
This is Adam Gold.
Please let the coach and GM pick this year.
Right.
And they put this on the sign outside of the restaurant, and I guess David Tepper actually went inside this restaurant.
Do you know that there is security video of that visit?
Wow.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. 1:45 every day. By the way, Dennis Cox sitting in for Adam Gold. 1:45 every day. Victoria, it's time to stretch.
Oh, yes. I feel like the golfers need to stretch some
they do.
out there. Oh, it's hot, too.
By the way, real quick.
Yes.
They actually have down at Pinehurst, and they basically built it, or they made one. Like a gym. Like a fitness gym.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, it was crazy. Yesterday, it's for players only. We were walking by there. You can kind of like see in the window a little bit. Dudes like lifting weights and doing some like light workouts and like light weights and stuff like that. I'm like, man, like 20 years ago, that was not a thing. Tiger Woods was really like the first one that really kind of made it a thing. Like, hey, you know what? I can strengthen my core. I can strengthen different parts of my body. Huh. Like, certain weights, obviously you don't want to be too like muscular because that kind of limits your rotation. Yeah. Kind of like you see with hockey players, like waist down, massive, right?
Yeah.
Waist down, pause. But waist down, like strong thighs, strong hamstrings, all that. But they're not super built upper body because you need a lot of that fluidity with your shoulders and stuff when you're playing. So they're not super bulky guys, at least up top. But yeah, like with golf, it's the same type thing. You got to make sure you have fluidity, but you're swinging a golf club 270 times over a weekend.
You don't want to be tight.
Got to have the muscular endurance to do it.
Yeah, exactly. I know. Well, and looking at hockey players, you think that they're like huge because of the padding, and then you see them and they're like, oh, they're 160 pounds. Okay.
All right, sorry to cut you off, but go on.
You're fine.
Anyway, it was just cool. It's a cool thing to see at Pinehurst.
One thing, if you are trying to bulk up, eat a bunch of hot dogs.
Let's go.
Joey Chestnut, I know the big news was that he is no longer with Nathan's Hot Dogs.
Well, he's not allowed to compete because he signed that was like a 4-year, $1.2 million deal with Impossible Foods.
Yes.
Which makes vegan hot dogs.
Yes,
and amongst other
exactly.
vegan
So
products.
he's not eating the real stuff anymore. They don't want him, going along with it. But there is a silver lining because he gets to compete with a rival of his. I did not realize that he had a rival, but he faced this person back in 2009, I think it was. This was the last time they competed. So his name is, I know I'm going to I'm just going to beat it up, but Takeru Kobayashi.
Oh, Kobayashi.
Kobayashi, yes, that
Kobayashi.
one.
Yes, he was like the original.
Yes, Kobayashi. So he's going to go up with a rematch on Labor Day, and it's going to be live on Netflix.
Yeah, look at Netflix dabbling into live events and stuff like that again.
Exactly. So it's going to be Chestnut versus Kobayashi, and it's called Unfinished Beef.
I like it.
Great
name.
So great. So yeah, they last competed against each other in 2009. Chestnut won that competition. He ate 68 hot dogs in 10 minutes. Kobayashi, he ate 64 and a half in 10 minutes. So not quite, he didn't make the cut, but they're doing it again, and it's going to be live on Netflix. And I thought this was cool. So Chestnut, he said afterward that, Kobayashi, he actually cut ties with Nathan's Hot Dog back in 2010 because I guess they refused to sign a contract with him. So, money things. But Chestnut, he said, quote, "Through all of my years in competitive eating, Kobayashi stands out as my fiercest rival. Competing against him pushed him to be so much better. It's time to give the people what they want."
Love it.
So I guess the people want to see this again, which, hey, I'll probably watch now because I didn't realize there was such a rival between these guys. So, yeah, who knows? But that will be happening on Labor Day. So set your calendars if you're interested. Exactly. Well, another thing that happens on Labor Day is people like to go to pools or they go to the beach.
Yeah.
And, they'll have some beverages and whatnot. So the CDC wants to warn you, this is a PSA, just be careful if you are indulging in beverages and being around water because 31% of all drowning deaths involve, apparently, a blood alcohol level of 0.10 or higher.
Oh, okay.
So they say that's equivalent to about 3 or 4 drinks. Obviously, it impairs your judgment, makes you more likely to take risks, as that's what happens.
So basically, if you've had too much where you can't drive, don't get in the water.
Exactly. Just sit on the beach. Don't get in the water because they're saying, with riptides and currents, you may not be able to judge as well, all that stuff. Feel like it's common sense, but, sometimes people just forget.
Hey,
I don't know.
You know what? Common sense is not very common.
It's not. But also they say people who plan on being on boats also be careful because you can have the same kind of injuries. And it says you are 14 times more likely to be killed in a boating accident if the person driving the boat or steering or whatever is in that same situation. So just be careful while you do your summer activities. Be mindful of that. Now, also, while you're thinking of your summer activities, maybe you're thinking about where you want a vacation.
Go on.
And Forbes has recently put out some of the worst places to spend your summer vacation.
I cannot wait to hear this. I'm not going to lie.
I know. And also some of your best. So,
all right, give me
would you like the best or the worst first?
Oh, give me the best. Give me the best to start, then hit me with the worst.
Okay, so best places for a summer vacation.
Okay.
Did you want to throw one out there and see if you could guess first?
Best places for a summer vacation?
Yeah,
Lake Geneva, Wisconsin.
Okay, so that's not on here.
All right.
But I'm not saying it's not true. So what they say is Minneapolis.
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
Long Beach, California.
Okay.
Washington, D.C., Seattle, and where our NC State, our baseball was going to be, Omaha,
Nebraska. NC State and UNC. They're taking their summer vacation out there.
They
Really,
read this
Omaha?
article, apparently. Now, on to the worst. And I should say, when they were considering this, they were taking in factors that included crimes, prices, ease of travel, extreme weather, and then, quote, experiences.
Okay.
Take that for whatever you think. Now, do you want to guess what you think is the worst place?
For summertime?
Yeah.
New York.
No, but it is on the opposite end. It's actually Jacksonville, Florida.
Jacksonville, Florida? That's funny.
Yeah.
That's fine. I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Duval.
Yeah, Jacksonville, Florida. The second was Colorado Springs as the worst destination. So avoid those places. They're saying it's a lot of like poor walkability, lack of transportation, high crime rate, and it's hot.
There's that too.
It gets hot there. But yeah, those are just some ideas if you're trying to plan it out. They also said places like Louisville, Kentucky, Miami, New Mexico, those were all bad places. So
yeah, it's hot.
I know. I'm like, in the summertime, it's just hot, but I don't know. Maybe we can make some hot picks though.
Let's do it. Let's make some picks.
I bet you slice into the woods $100.
Gambling is illegal at Bushwood, sir, and I never slide.
Okay, you can owe me. I owe you nothing.
All right, Victoria, start us off.
Okay, so I'll be all on the ice today.
All right.
Panthers versus Oilers. Give me an anytime goal scorer. Matthew Tkachuk, just because I don't know why he's plus 230 in this, but that just feels like I should take it. So
yeah, I'm actually going to go an anytime goal scorer defenseman for the Florida Panthers, Gustav Forsling, plus 600. I think it's one of those situations, he jumps up in the play on like a 3-on-2, and he's like the trail guy.
Right.
Buries one. Gustav Forsling, plus 600.
Nice.
Give it to me.
I like it. Well, maybe. I feel like this definitely is always a crapshoot, but the highest scoring period, give me the second period.
Oh, okay.
I know. Make it in the middle. Plus 260.
All right. I also have I made this pick yesterday. It is out there. I made it the pick yesterday. I said Victor Hovland is going to win the U.S. Open. It's at plus 2,500.
Oh, okay. And my last one, I really want the Oilers to win. I just want more hockey too for no other reason. I just want all the hockey. So give me the Oilers to win. I think it's going to be under. That's plus 200.
Plus 200. Okay. All right. Because we are legally obligated to discuss soccer on the Adam Gold Show, I have to give you a soccer bet, Victoria. Euro 2024 starts tomorrow, by the way. Which, by the way, if you just love like great competition, and if you love the sport of soccer, you're probably going to watch this. But if you love great competition, the Euro Championship is pretty awesome. I have no dog in the fight because I'm born in the United States. But nonetheless, give me France to win the whole thing, plus 350. Because I am legally obligated to give you a soccer bet, Victoria, when I'm sitting in this chair for Adam Gold. This is the Adam Gold Show. Dennis Cox sitting in for Adam Gold this afternoon. On the other side, the wall of sound. Some great sound bites.
Serving it up hot and fresh every day. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Imagine waking up this time next week and being 100% debt-free from credit cards, car loan, and personal loans. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit can make it happen. Homeowners are turning their home equity into cash almost instantly. With Loan Pronto's AI-based system, you can get approval in about 10 minutes with almost no documentation, no appraisal, and no hassle. You can get hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home. Use that money to pay off all your other loans. The average homeowner saves over $850 a month doing this. Listen, your home value is way up. You can use that to wipe out all those credit cards. Get some money for a home improvement. Literally hundreds of thousands are at your fingertips, and approval is just minutes away. Call now, 919-381-1760, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com, 919-381-1760, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, equal housing lender.
Houston, permission to detach boosters.
Negative, Commander. You're off course for the moon. Sensors show something massive on board. Did you bring additional items?
Only the new loaded scratch-offs.
Those are loaded with $50, $100, $500, and $2,000 prizes. You're on a trajectory towards Mars.
Nice. First person on Mars. Take that, billionaires.
New loaded scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Massive amounts of prizes. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.8 to 4.88. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
If you see me stopped in the McDonald's drive-thru, just staring at the menu with my "what should I order" face, don't interrupt. It's the most important decision I'll make all day.
Enjoy savings every day when you get a McDouble, McChicken, and other faves. Buy one, get one for $1. Plus, get any size Dr. Pepper for just $1.29. Price and participation may vary. Valid for product of equal or lesser value. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
I plan to rearrange my closet, but I stopped after picking the clothes up off the floor.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel's award-winning language learning app will help you start speaking another language. Start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks.
Comment tu t'appelles?
Comment tu t'appelles?
Vous êtes où?
Vous êtes où?
Babbel's bite-sized lessons make it easy to learn words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks,
"How's your French going?"
you can say,
Babbel est amusant et facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue. Et cela ne prend que 15 minutes par jour.
when you want to really learn another language, it starts with Babbel. Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at babbel.com. Just go to babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's babbel.com. BABBEL.com.
Get bonus days to save during Window Nation's semi-annual sale now through June 30th. Get 50% off all windows along with no interest for 5 years, plus a bonus 10% savings when you schedule an estimate at 866-90-NATION or windownation.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
This hour of buzzer-beating, nail-biting, edge-of-your-seat sports action on 99.9 The Fan is powered by
Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
Visit GotBryan.com.
That's ScottBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
You're listening to The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Back come the Cats, and Mikola scores on a little drop pass from Lundell off the rush. Game 2 is tied. Rodriguez trying to move it across, gets it back and fires and scores. It's 2-1 Florida. Lundell carries up the left side, hangs onto it into the zone, throws it in front, redirected in. Rodriguez with the tip in, his second of the game. It's 3-1 Florida.
Should be a fun one tonight. If you're a hockey fan or just enjoy sports in general, you want to get locked in on a game with high stakes, watch the Stanley Cup Finals. Game 3 is tonight between the Florida Panthers and the Edmonton Oilers. Dennis Cox sitting in for Adam Gold this afternoon. Adam is just, I think, soaking in the U.S. Open right now. I think he's just, you know what? It's Father's Day weekend coming up. I'm just going to extend this thing.
Make it longer.
Make it a Father's Day week.
Yeah.
Essentially is what he's going to do. So Adam is out today. He's out tomorrow. He won't be back till Wednesday next week, Victoria. Sorry, you're stuck with me.
No, it's fine. Hopefully he still knows how to do radio when he comes back. No, he will. It's fine.
Trust me, he will.
He's done it a few times.
He will not forget.
Yeah.
All right, on the Adam Gold Show, 2 o'clock every single day. It is the Wall of Sound.
The Wall of Sound is a function of this studio. There's no doubt about it.
So the Wall of Sound, we cobbled together some different sound bites and from throughout the sports world. We're going to be pretty Carolina Panther focused with this one here, Victoria, including is because they wrapped up their mandatory mini camp this week. We're not going to see the Panthers back together until training camp in July. So basically in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So this is, you know what? Enjoy a little time off here, fellas. Mm-hmm. But it's also the time as well. It's like, all right, conditioning wise and get yourself body ready for training camp. We really got to ramp things up. But this is where Dave Canales talking about the team really starting to put things together.
It's really exciting. Just to know, again, what's my expectation? That we can play good football. That's my expectation. Without talking about anything else, we're not talking about wins and losses. Can we just play good football? Can we do right for 60 minutes or longer, whatever it takes? And can we execute? Can we execute the fundamental parts of our offense and our defense and special teams? That's my high hope, and what I see is a group that's trending towards that, to put good football out there.
Can we just play good football?
Please and thank you.
I think you just said what every Carolina Panther fans were now. Can we just play good football?
I want it to
That's
be
all we
exciting
want.
again.
Just want good football.
I want to look forward to my Sundays. Well, I know we don't have any prime time. Our primiest of prime is at 4 something.
I think it's the 9:30 Eastern time kickoff against Germany. I think is the prime time.
Yes.
That is the one. Which, you know what? That's fine. I'm really not worried about that. As someone who does a Carolina Panthers podcast post-game, Panthers Playbook, which you should subscribe to, like when you subscribe to the Best of the Adam Gold Show podcast, where you find your podcast. As someone who does a post-game Panthers podcast,
shorter nights
makes things a little easier for me, but selfishly in that regard. But he said it. Our expectations, just play good football for 60 minutes. And I think Panthers fans this season would just take that. You know what? Might go 6-11.
I'm okay with
that. But we're competitive. We play good football and game in and game out. Progress. That's it. Progress. That's all we want to see.
In the right direction.
Yes, that's what we want.
We don't want to regress. We want progress.
I mean, you can't regress much further.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
I don't want to jinx them
because
I guess you could not win any games, but please, let's not go in that direction.
There is that.
Barf.
There is the exactly. Now, Dave Canales did talk about. Let's go before we get to another Dave Canales cut. Let's talk about Bryce Young as well, seeing all the pieces come together.
Yeah, it's been great. Obviously with OTAs we have a lot of people here, but for one reason or another, you have people getting hurt, people who have stuff, personal things that filter in and out. But the more that we can get all guys here, we can kind of just start to form that identity. Again, there's been a lot of moving pieces, new staff, so I think it's really important all the times that we can get together because we're going to build. You can't build without all the pieces. So again, we've had great participation. It's been great. Having guys around, and even the guys that may have had stuff and weren't able to make it, there's still been, communication, still being able to, form stuff off the field. So I think just the more we can do that, and obviously we're going to continue to do that through camp, it can, bring us together a lot more, and that'll translate on Sundays.
Okay, everything coming together, right? Everyone on the same page. It helps when you have a plan.
Yes, it
does. Which is what Dave Canales has been doing. He's had a plan. He's had his, like you said, his vision board. I'm going to use your word here, Victoria, your term. His vision board.
Right, because we know he has one.
He does. He definitely does, 100%. Yeah. If he doesn't, I'd be shocked.
I would be very shocked.
But he has his vision board, as you said. And there's a plan, and everything's coming together. This is what we're doing now. This is the reason why we're doing it. We're going to be very intentional with what we do, and we're going to continue to build off that every single time that we get together. That's what it's been, as opposed to, hey, here's our playbook. We're going to run these 25 plays today. All right, let's go in there and run them. No, it's hey, these are the concepts we're going to work on. These are the things that these are like the core concepts of what our offense and our identity is being built around. This is the reason why we're doing it. Now let's build upon that. I know Canales talked about, hey, you know what? We might run like the same concept, the same play, but we're going to run it out of like 6 or 7 different ways. But we have to understand what that concept is before we can run it 6 or 7 different ways. You got to have the concept down first. And that's honestly what a lot of great offenses are built on. I coached lacrosse in college, coached college women's lacrosse. And I ran basically, like, offensive-wise, I ran basically like 3 or 4 concepts. Like, that's it. Like 3 or 4 different things. But we made it look like it was 70, based off, like one little tweak here and there. And it confused the heck out of other teams. I was like, and I explained it to my players. I said, these are the 3 or 4 things that we're doing. We're just going to make it look like it's something else. Like, okay, we're doing the same concept just on a different spot on the field. It's the same thing. And once you once they understood that, they're like, oh, okay, that's what we're doing. And sometimes it really is as simple as that. Dave Canales, there are obviously a lot of new pieces offensively for the Carolina Panthers this season. 2 new offensive linemen, at least starting offensive guards, we should say. A couple new wide receivers. They traded for Deontay Johnson with Pittsburgh. They drafted Xavier Legette in the first round. They drafted Jonathan Brooks second round, a running back from Texas. In the fourth round, they drafted Jatavian Sanders, the tight end from Texas as well. But there are a couple of returning players. Running back Chuba Hubbard, tight end Tommy Tremble. Here is Dave Canales on how those guys actually been standing out.
On offense, I can't talk about effort without talking about Chuba Hubbard and Tommy Tremble, 2 guys who really push each other to get their work in, to work on the small things, taking care of their bodies, the effort that we're looking for in practice. These guys are at the front of what we're talking about, trying to push the tempo, trying to make sure that the defense can feel the attacking style that we have. These are guys that have really stood out for me this spring as leaders in that regard.
Those 2 guys are going to be getting a lot of reps this offseason, or have been, I should say. Miles Sanders, the running back that the Panthers signed last offseason, has been dealing with a heel injury that's been kind of nagging him. And Jonathan Brooks, that second-round pick that we mentioned a moment ago, Victoria, he's still recovering from an ACL injury. So who's your back? Oh, it's Chuba Hubbard, back again this season for a 4th year with the Carolina Panthers. So he's getting a majority of reps with the offense. We obviously saw Chuba Hubbard last season get a bulk of the workload, especially the second half of the year in terms of carries. So guess what? In the new offense, guess who's getting a lot of the reps? It's Chuba Hubbard.
Makes sense.
Tommy Tremble is your best returning tight end. Jatavian Sanders still has a lot of things to figure out because he is a rookie, physically one of the most gifted athletes, especially at the tight end position in the draft. He was the second tight end drafted in the entire 2024 NFL draft. Tommy Tremble is your returning guy, other than Ian Thomas. Ian Thomas, good blocking tight end, not really expecting him much from him in terms of the pass game. But Tommy Tremble, he's going to get a lot of reps. He's the returning guy. He's going to get a lot of those first-team reps. It's good to see that maybe some of these guys that are actually returning for Carolina can finally be put in a position where they can actually blossom. Think of the turnover that these guys have had. Like Ike Ekwonu was drafted in 2022 by Matt Rule,
right,
when Matt Rule was the head coach. And then he had Steve Wilkes as the interim head coach because Matt Rule gets fired. And then Frank Reich comes in, and then he's fired. And then it was Chris Tabor takes over.
Yeah, now he's on his 4th head coach.
5th?
5th, yeah.
5th
yeah,
now.
That's right,
Dave
Chris
Canales.
Tabor, yeah.
It's 5th. 5. He's in his 3rd year.
Yep, takes up a whole hand.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely wild to think about. I mean, gosh, look back what Brian Burns had to deal with in his 5 years.
Yeah.
He had Frank Reich, and then Frank Reich got fired. So then was Perry Fuel was the interim head coach for a few games. Then there was Matt Rule, and then Matt Rule got fired. Then it was Steve Wilkes, and then there was Frank Reich, and there was Chris Tabor. Brian Burns played 5 seasons with the Carolina Panthers, and there were 6 people that had the title of head coach in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah. You need consistency.
Consistency is going to matter, and I think hopefully with a lot of these returning players, Ike Ekwonu, Chuba Hubbard, Tommy Tremble, they might not be, at least in terms of Hubbard and Tremble, they might not be the number 1 guy later on in the season, as those rookies might take some of that time. But if they can still continue to grow and improve and provide depth that this team hasn't had in a long time, good. Good. Oh, gosh, when we talk, we can think about it in just the sense of just in the 6 years of Tepper.
I know.
Gosh.
It makes a headache. Immediate headache. Immediate headache. And the fact that he's still here. I'm just so concerned for. That's the thing is, like, as a Carolina Panthers fan, I really want to be optimistic like Dave Canales is, and I like him. I love that he has a strategy and a plan. I am all for that. I just want him to be able to do it. I don't want someone to get in his way, and that's my main concern.
Big time. You know, Mike Tomlin, the Pittsburgh Steelers head coach, signed a contract extension through 2027, if I remember correctly.
I wanted him to come to the Carolinas.
Yeah, he wasn't coming.
No, he wasn't.
it was the last 55 seasons, the Steelers have had 3 head coaches.
Yeah.
In the last 3 years,
Exactly.
the Panthers have had 5 people have the title of head coach.
That was one of the examples I thought of the opposite, where a coach stays there for a long time.
Yep.
Like, Mike Tomlin.
Stability. That's all we want, right?
Or Belichick,
Good
even,
football.
before he got let go.
Just good football for 60 minutes. Stability.
Please.
Not that hard.
No.
It's the Adam Gold Show. Dennis Cox sitting in for Adam Gold this afternoon. Victoria producing the show, as always. In the world of college sports, it's basically becoming professional at this point. Not just from how the revenue generated with television, but the Big 12 might be opening the door to what other conferences are going to be doing, to how they can generate even more revenue. I'll explain why coming up.
Serving it up hot and fresh every day. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
99.9 The Fan and Arise Urology Clinic present Men's Health Month. More than 30 million men suffer from prostate-related issues impacting their quality of life. When men near the age of 40, they may start to experience growth with their prostate. Make sure to get your yearly checkups with your primary doctor to ensure everything is healthy. It's vital. Help yourself and prevent long-term complications before they happen. Men's Health Month is powered by Arise. Call Arise Urology Clinic for Men at 919-964-3750 or visit corewavetherapy.com.
Okay, let me tell you about one of my absolute favorite hangout spots. Hey, it's Victoria Vodnecker, and Norse Brewing Company in Wake Forest is a place you need to check out. There's also Norse Brewing Longhouse in Zebulon, which is just as amazing, but both locations offer mouth-watering Southern food, but with a Scandinavian twist. My personal favorite is the loaded beer cheese tots with in-house made seltzers. Yes, they make all of their adult beverages in-house right in front of you. Speaking of the setup, you'll be completely immersed in the Viking vibes with the handmade axe door handles, the wooden interior, the calm lighting. And with the weather getting warmer, there's plenty of space to enjoy this one-of-a-kind menu outside. Whether it's brunch, lunch, dinner, or a nightcap, Norse Brewing Company is a place you'll want to visit, and you can bring your pups too. Bring everyone out for trivia night, one of their markets, or you could even plan your next big event there. You can find out all the information about this amazing spot and upcoming events at norsebrewingco.com.
Hot summer days mean time on the water. Let Sound Station and Security make your time even better with our custom boat options. At Sound Station and Security, our Raleigh marine experts can help you for everything with your boat, from the perfect audio system to lights to video. We do it all custom, and we do it all from scratch. You're unique. Your boat should be too. Make sure everyone knows where the best party is this summer on the lake with Sound Station and Security. With 2 locations, downtown Smithfield and on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh. Online at myhotsound.com.
What's wrong? My travel rewards card didn't earn enough miles for my vacation. Are you crying? Are you crying because of that other credit card? Uh-huh. Well, switch to the Capital One Venture card. Venture lets you redeem miles on any travel purchase. Really? Yep, and you earn unlimited double miles on every purchase every single day. The Capital One Venture card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Adam Gold in studio with my friend Alice Brule from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. When people come over to the showroom, they see all of these great doors. I'm not saying that this is what you guys specialize in. You specialize in everything, but let's talk some doors.
The doors are a great way to beautify your home. And when you come into the showroom, one of the first things I ask you to do is to open and close the door. It's a big difference. So with the doors, you pick out the hardware, you pick out the colors, you pick out the style. They come in fiberglass, they come in steel. We got multiple glass options. It's a great way to improve your home. It's easy to do. It's affordable. And these doors, a lot of times you go in and out the door 10, 20 times a day. You might open the windows 10 times a year.
Though that is true. By the way, I'm not sure I've ever walked through my front door.
You're not the only one.
Yeah, we use the back door.
The back door is side door. We do those also.
All right. That's Dallas Brule from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. 800-672-4348 on Hamlin Road in Durham. AluminumCompany.com. Check them out if you need a door.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds, which could be life-changing.
I mean, you could put that money towards concert tickets for your daughter to see that singer who sings about painful breakups. And one song will inspire your little beauty to break up with that beast she's dating, Brian. Instead, she'll date someone who's nice and worthy of her love, not someone who addresses you and your spouse as bro. And it's all because you could save money switching at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
This is Adam Gold.
I got news for you. If I see a hammerhead shark swimming near me in open water,
nope,
we're gone.
Bye.
We're done. I'll be on the dock.
I'm done. I've seen Jaws. You can't fool me.
Yeah, I'll be on the dock.
Yeah.
Or in the boat or something. I will not be.
Yeah.
I will not be in open water.
The Adam Gold Show.
So the business of college sports it's evolving and it's changing rapidly. And we have seen, as reported today, Pete Thamel of ESPN. By the way, Dennis Cox sitting in for Adam Gold. This is the Adam Gold Show. Victoria Vodnacker producing the show as always. Pete Thamel of ESPN reported earlier today that the Big 12, which is Texas Tech and Oklahoma State and a bunch of other different schools. The Big 12, so one of the power conferences, is exploring selling its naming rights to a title sponsor with potential revenue of hundreds of millions of dollars over the course of the deal. This is, again, according to Pete Thamel of ESPN, who's as plugged in terms of college sports and the behind the scenes and the business side of stuff as anybody else is. So the commercial sponsor would potentially take away the name Big out of Big 12 and replace it with the sponsor's name. So, for example, as opposed to being the Big 12, it would be, for example, like the Bojangles 12 or the Krispy Kreme 12 or the Lexus 12, the Wells Fargo 12 or whatever the title. That's what the Big 12 is looking to do. So when you are discussing the standings of the league, it's not, hey, who won the Big 12 last year? Hey, it's going to be who won the AT&T 12 or whatever it might be, the Sprint 12, the Verizon 12, the T-Mobile 12, whatever it is that you want it to be, the IHOP 12. That's the thing that we are potentially seeing from the Big 12. And you know what? The Big 12 is doing it. Other conferences should be looking to do the same. Speaking of Pete Thamel, big shout out to Victoria who pulled this soundbite. There's Pete Thamel earlier today on the Pat McAfee Show discussing this possibility.
Well, Ty, I would say that the reason the Pac-12 is dead is because new Big 12 Commissioner Brett Yormark, he's been there about 2 years, essentially end-arounded the TV deal and got ESPN and Fox to agree to a lengthy TV deal that protects the league's immediate future. The same TV deal that the Pac-12 probably could have had. They got caught flat-footed. They ended up, remember that bad Apple deal at the end?
Sure,
and
sure.
everybody ended up splintering.
Fault. No, it's Lee Corso's fault. Remember? Yeah, I'm not getting into it. That was a whole thing.
I think that the Big 12 and the SEC, we are in an era of a Power 2. I've probably said that on the show before. It's sort of something that has become apparent and prevalent for the past 3 years. And that's why Clemson and Florida State are trying to run to the Power 2. And that's why the Big 12 is trying to be creative here and keep its schools, give its schools the ability to compete with the Power 2. Because ultimately, if you're dealing with a different salary cap, and that's what this $20 million revenue share becomes, you give $15 million of it to football. And if Big 12 schools are dealing with a smaller cap for football than their competitors in the Big 12 in the Big 10 in the SEC, it's just going to be very difficult to operate that way. And the same thing goes for the ACC. The ACC is slightly ahead in a TV deal of the Big 12, and those leagues now are very wary of the gap that's going to yawn financially because of the CFP money and because of these TV deals. They're really going to start kicking in the upcoming seasons.
Okay, so a lot to unpack there from Pete Thamel. So The $20 million cap that he's referring to is the lawsuit against the NCAA and the power conferences by former athletes regarding their inability to use name, image, and likeness. Part of that settlement was also allowing colleges and schools to directly pay players themselves as a revenue share, paying athletes directly. Again, to the tune of roughly $20-ish million per school, up to that. Again, if a school is willing to pay that much. And again, that all has to be, court still got, the judge in that case still has to agree upon the settlement and all that kind of stuff, even though anyway, there's still a lot to be determined. That's still not set in stone yet. So again, this is now about conferences and schools trying to generate more money for themselves. The big two in terms of dollars raised right now and dollars earned off TV deals are the Big Ten and the SEC. Big Ten mostly getting money from Fox, some of it from NBC, some of it from CBS as well. They're a little bit more diversified. SEC has their deal with Disney. So it's ESPN, ABC, and those properties, SEC Network, all that kind of stuff. So they get the most amount of money. So this is where we're starting to see now where schools, we saw this was reported about a week ago, where schools are allowed to now put sponsorship logos directly on their football fields, like in between the lines. So at like the 20-yard line, you could have like a Walmart logo or something like that. For example, University of Arkansas, where's Walmart headquartered, Victoria? In Arkansas. So Walmart, if they want to, could put the logo of Walmart. They could buy a spot on the field and put a logo on the field as a way. And guess what? For Arkansas, you could generate money that way. NC State, they're now doing what they call PSLs, personal seat licensures. So basically, you buy the rights to purchase season tickets for a seat. So basically, you got to pay money to buy season tickets, if that makes sense. Not like you have to pay money to spend the money, if that makes sense. So if I sit in section whatever, row X seats, 4 and 5, I got to pay money to have the seat licensure to those seats, which then gives me the right to buy season tickets for those seats. That's what. So it's another way to make money. Now, if the Big 12, what they're looking to do is sell the naming rights of their conference, well, guess what? That's an influx, another way to generate revenue to, again, bring more money. The Big 12 is in fourth in terms of revenue generated overall in terms of television deals. It's the SEC and Big 10, and then ACC is third, then it's Big 12. Hey, what's another way to get some money into the books? That's a way to do it. The Big 12 is also reportedly weighing a private investment or private equity investment for roughly 20% of the league. But like they're discussing a deal with a Luxembourg-based CVC Capital Partners. The Big 12 is discussing possibly an infusion of anywhere from $800 million to $1 billion from this private equity fund. A lot of money. But here's the thing, in exchange for a stake of 15 to 20% of the league. So yeah, you're going to get a bunch of money, cash infusion early, but over a long period of time, that investment fund's going to own basically part of the league. Now, that's something that school presidents and all that stuff have to sign off for as well. You're probably thinking, Dennis, what's your point? All right, I'll make it right now. If you're the Atlantic Coast Conference and you see the Big 12 is doing this, why aren't you exploring that? Why aren't you exploring that? As opposed to just being the Atlantic Coast Conference, be the Bojangles Atlantic Coast Conference. Like, have a title sponsor attached to your conference so when it's reported on news, when it's shown on ESPN on SportsCenter, or people look up the standings, that's what they see. That's a big-time sponsorship opportunity for for this conference. Why won't you do it? You have naming rights to stadiums, right? Bank of America Stadium is called Bank of America Stadium because Bank of America purchased the rights to have it called Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte. I'm also wondering when we're going to start seeing State, Duke, Carolina, Wake, ECU, App, Charlotte, any of these other schools, you're going to start selling naming rights to your stadiums or to your arenas. Like, could you imagine Cameron Indoor Stadium going to be called like the Name Your Company Victoria?
Right.
Like the Visa, Cameron Indoor Stadium. It's possible.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. It's a race for dollars. It used to be a race, the quote-unquote arms race for who had the best facility, who had the biggest facilities and all that kind of stuff. Now it's just getting cash because you got to pay your players potentially. That's coming. It might not come tomorrow, might not come next year, might come the year after, but eventually that's coming, folks. And the Big 12, if it's selling the naming rights of your league as a way to infuse money, hey, guess what, Big 10? Guess what, SEC? Guess what, ACC? You should look to do the same in some way, shape, or form. Because there's money out there, and there's a lot of competition for those dollars. You know who's a big sponsor with the ACC? Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
Could you imagine the Dr. Pepper Coast Conference standings?
Could we have what his little something, the guy from the
Little Caesars? Oh.
No, the guy from American Idol, Justin, who was with Kelly Clarkson. He was Lil Sweet or something. Who used to do the Dr. Pepper commercials. You don't remember him?
Oh yeah.
We could have him be the mascot.
See, exactly. But nonetheless, if you're ACC Commissioner Jim Phillips, you have to look at every single possibility of a way to generate revenue for your schools. Because as Pete Thamel said a moment ago, this is the reason why the lesser amount of revenue that the ACC generates compared to the Big Ten and the SEC has schools like Clemson and Florida State looking to leave. That's the reason why. Even though the ACC is still the best conference top to bottom in all sports in the entire world.
Yeah, and NC State's trying to dominate everything
proven.
for the ACC. I know.
It's proven.
I know.
Honestly, if you look at it, ACC's been better than the SEC overall. When you look at basketball, ACC had a better record this season head-to-head against SEC teams in football. Who had 3 schools in the Elite 8? ACC did. Just saying. Just pointing things out. Just stating facts here, folks. But nonetheless, in case you missed it, the Big 12 is looking to sell the naming rights of its league to a title sponsor. Can only imagine how much money. Again, hundreds of millions of dollars a year coming in.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It makes a massive difference. This is the Adam Gold Show. Dennis Cox sitting in for Adam Gold this afternoon. We'll have some more U.S. Open coming up on the other side. But also, I'm going to tell you why it's a fun time to be a sports fan in the state of North Carolina.
Raleigh to Boone, Charlotte to Chapel Hill. Your Carolina is covered. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
At North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, we like calling North Carolina home because being local matters. It's why in every county, we have agents whose hometown is your town. That means we're there when you need us most, with personal service you'd expect from a friend or neighbor. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
Deep in the Sandhills sits a North Carolina gem, Pinehurst. Uncover the stories behind this legendary golf destination in the new PBS NC special, It's a Beautiful Day in Pinehurst. Step onto its hallowed grounds, where golf's greatest players have made history, and learn what sets Pinehurst apart, from its humble origins to its modern-day status as the cradle of American golf. Stream It's a Beautiful Day in Pinehurst for free now on the PBS app.
When the power goes out, your life is disrupted. Heat, air conditioning, refrigeration, phones, all gone. Be prepared for the next outage with a Generac home standby generator. After sensing a power outage, a Generac generator automatically restores your home's power, whether you're home or away. Power your life with a Generac home standby generator. Act now for a free 10-year warranty on a Generac home standby generator. Terms and conditions apply. See more at alternativepower.com. Alternative Power, North Carolina's Generac experts.
Think it's too pricey to pursue your interest and earn a degree? Well, if you're a North Carolinian from a household making $80,000 or less, think again. The Next NC Scholarship could cover more than half, if not all, of your tuition and fees at any NC community college or public university. This is money that doesn't have to be repaid. The Next NC Scholarship helps you know what you're getting because it combines federal and state-funded financial aid to form a new, simplified award. We're talking at least $3,000 for community college or $5,000 for a public university, making the cost of education more manageable. The Next NC Scholarship also helps you know where you're going because you could see how much you could get to pay for the schools you're interested in. So picking the right path for you and your future is now easier than ever. Applying is as simple as filling out the FAFSA. Dig into the details at nextncscholarship.org. The Next NC Scholarship. Know what you're getting, know where you're going.
If you pay your city or town for electricity, you live in a public power community. Our public power providers in North Carolina keep the power on 99.9% of the time. That averages out to be less than 1 hour a year without power. Public power line workers who work day and night, rain or shine, are key to that unbeaten reliability. Better reliability, fewer outages, faster restoration. That's the value of public power. Learn more at electricities.com.
Did you know Medicare fraud is costing us $68 billion a year? The NC Department of Insurance Senior Medical Patrol Program's goal is to reduce Medicare fraud, waste, and abuse. If you suspect any billing or Medicare fraud issues, we're here to help. Contact SMP today at ncshiip.com or call toll-free at 855-408-1212.
Project supported by grants from the Administration for Community Living. Contents do not necessarily represent official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.
If you or a loved one have been a victim of crime, the North Carolina Department of Public Safety Office of Victim Compensation Services provides programs to help you find peace of mind. They are here to help you apply for benefits that you may qualify for to recover from hardships such as lost wages and medical expenses. To learn more, visit ncdps.gov/4victims. That's ncdps.gov/4VICTIMS.
This is Adam Gold.
He said he could talk about his golf game. He did say it wasn't great, and I said, hey, no judgment here. I'm a drive shacker and a putt-putter myself.
None of us are good. Even those of us that are good aren't really good.
Right, yeah.
We're just not.
Yeah.
The Adam Gold Show.
Hey. Maybe that's what the Big 12's doing. They're trying to shake that money maker.
Definitely trying to shake their money makers.
So in case you missed it, this is reported earlier today. We just got done talking about it. But the Big 12 looking to sell the naming rights of their conference to a title sponsor. So essentially what they would look to do, drop the big from Big 12 and insert title sponsor name, like the Dr. Pepper 12. Like, that's the name of the conference. Hey, big-time Dr. Pepper 12 matchup this weekend. Oklahoma State versus Kansas State. That's what it would be, potentially. Not saying that Dr. Pepper is going to be the one that does it. I'm just using that as an example. But it's wild to think that's a possibility.
And thank you, Steve from the Twitter. He said it's Justin Guarini. That's it. That is who I was thinking of.
Who?
He was a guy from American Idol,
yes.
and he did the Little Sweet or whatever he did. I mean, it was a while ago, but for a minute he was like Minnie and would dance around and say Little Sweet all the time.
I never watched American Idol.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, that was. I mean, it was a thing.
I think it's still a thing. It's not a thing I watched.
It was exactly. It's not a thing I watched, but it's still a thing. But nonetheless, that's what the Big 12 is looking to do. Speaking of of money. It's something I saw last night. Did you know that now, if you're a public school student, you cannot profit from NIL in the state of North Carolina. If a public high school student, you cannot do that. The State Board of Education banned, you can actually read the article up. It's on highschoolot.com. Nick Stevens and the crew over there does a tremendous job. But the North Carolina State Board of Education bans athletes at public North Carolina high schools from profiting off name, image, and likeness. So a new amateurism policy adopted by the state board will prevent high school athletes at public schools in North Carolina from profiting off their name, image, and likeness. My big question is why? Like, why would you put that into place? Like, why do that? For example, what high school did you go to, Victoria, here in the state of North Carolina?
I went to McMichael. It's northern North Carolina.
So, yeah, I mean, it's right there. You're like north
right
of
at the
Triad.
border. Yes.
Right there north of the Triad.
Mm-hmm.
So, McMichael High School.
336.
There
Sorry.
it is. Hey, shout out. So, let's say, for example, there's a star athlete like you, Victoria. You swam, correctly?
Did swim.
Okay, so you swam. Let's say there's a local restaurant that, like, you're a star swimmer, like you won state championship or something like that. Maybe whatever it is, like you're potentially looking to go to University of North Carolina, NC State, or App, which is where you went to compete, swim, whatever it might be. And there's a local restaurant that says, like, hey, we got the star athlete. Maybe like on a local ad, you could be like, hey, come meet so-and-so. They got specials going on this weekend. And they pay you like $100 and give you food.
Oh, yeah. Take it all day.
That is technically an NIL deal.
Yeah.
Can't do that.
Nope. Wow.
I don't see what's wrong with that. To me, it's like, why are you focusing your effort on this? But again, that's public North Carolina high school students.
Right.
So, for example, like here in Raleigh, Cardinal Gibbons competes, which is a private school, competes against schools like Millbrook or Sanderson or Wake Forest, whatever it might be. The kids at Cardinal Gibbons can use name, image, and likeness, but the public school kids can't. None of it makes sense.
No, yeah.
None of it makes sense to me at all. I don't know why, because the state, I think, used to allow that, but now they are banning it, so it's almost like they're backtracking.
Yeah, that would be backtracking.
Which is weird, because I think there are 31 other states that allow high school students to profit off their name, image, and likeness. Here's the thing. It's not like this applies. When it comes to NIL and high school kids, we're really talking about like the minority of the minority of the minority of kids.
Right. Yes.
Because you'd have to be a high-end recruit. Like, for example, Duke has the top incoming freshman in college basketball in Cooper Flagg, right? Kid's from Maine. That guy's got like a name brand already, because a lot of people would say, if he was in this year's NBA draft, he might go number 1 overall.
Yes.
That's how good he is. We're literally talking like a count them on one hand type athletes.
Mm-hmm.
But still, why would you prevent it?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
I just don't get it. So, for example, let's say a kid out in the triad or here in the triangle, whatever it might be, great athlete, super well known, shops at a sneaker store. And the sneaker store is like, hey, we'll give you store credit if you post about us on social media. That's an NIL deal.
Mm-hmm.
Can't do that.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Well, and it would also help kids who maybe could use the extra like financial assistance.
Yeah.
Because sports are expensive.
Sports are expensive.
The equipment, you're growing, you got to get uniforms. For me, we didn't have a pool in my high school, so I had to drive to the next high school that did have a pool, so I used a lot of gas and wear and tear on my car. So stuff like that would help kids actually, be able to do the sport too.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. It's something that I don't get.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, though. I will say this, though. Sports in the state of North Carolina, if you just enjoy sports, this is a pretty fun time for you right now as a sports fan here in the state of North Carolina. Just look at all the different things that we've either had go on recently or are going on right now, just involving the state of North Carolina. So, for example, like there's seasons going on. Like if you're a soccer fan, we had the soccer tournament, the TST, last week at Wake Med Soccer Park in Cary. Obviously, you can watch the North Carolina Courage. They're in full season right now. U.S. Open at Pinehurst is going on right now, which really isn't a whole lot more to say, which, by the way, I think we have some score updates, Victoria, from Pinehurst, which means there it is. Bryson DeChambeau even through 3 holes.
Ah.
Your leader, Patrick Cantlay, 5 under. Ludwig Auberg, he's 4 under for the day. Matthew Pavon, 3 under for the day. Tony Finau, 2 under. Those are your top 5. A bunch of guys at 1 under right now. Sergio Garcia finishes round at 1 under, as did Sam Bennett. Chesson Hadley is 1 under through 6 holes. Rory McIlroy, 1 under through 4. Tommy Fleetwood, 1 under through 4 as well. Max Homa, 1 under through 3. Brooks Koepka finished his day even. Colin Morikawa finished his day even. Jordan Spieth out there on the course. Xander Schauffele out there on the course. They're even through 3 and 4 holes, respectively. So, again, a lot of guys still just teeing off and just getting on the course. Wyndham Clark, last year's winner, he's +1 through 4. Scotty Scheffler, the favorite, +1 through 4. Tiger Woods, +4 on the day.
Yeah.
Not great.
He's there.
He's there. Phil Mickelson may not be there very long. Phil Mickelson was +9 today. Don't see him sticking around very long. Justin Thomas, +7.
Wow.
So anyway, that's where we are. But nonetheless, so again, back to great sports here in the state of North Carolina, what we're going through right now, or what we're going through right now, like it's a terrible thing. What we're able to have right now, again, NC Courage, their season's going on right now. You have Pinehurst hosting the U.S. Open. The Big Rock Fishing Tournament out there in Morehead City is in day 3 right now. I mean, millions of dollars in prizes going out in the Big Rock Tournament.
Wow, it's crazy.
I know. It's insane.
I had no idea what. Yeah.
The amount of money and everything that gets into that it's remarkable. It's so fun to follow.
I know. Well, and I'm
It's so
fascinated.
fun.
I never followed it until like a couple years ago, but I'm fascinated about it's a lifestyle. Like
It really is.
It's literally a lifestyle.
It is super
It's so
competitive. It really is. It's so fun. So you have that going on. And then also, starting tomorrow, we have North Carolina and NC State baseball in the College World Series. There are so many things going on right now for sports in the state of North Carolina. It is exciting. I'm probably missing some things right now, to be honest with you. But that's where we are, Victoria.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of people say, oh, summertime sports kind of a dead time. No, not here.
There's a lot going on.
Not in this state.
Nope.
Not right now.
Not yet.
Kids are out for summer.
Still a lot going on.
There's still a lot going on here, folks. So if you still want to get locked in and still watch something in sports-related wise, again, just in the state of North Carolina, I think it's great to see. And one of the reasons why I love it as well is because obviously it shows what North Carolina is capable of and it is doing in the sports scene on so many different levels, not just collegiately or professionally in terms of like State, Duke, Carolina, Wake, App, ECU, Charlotte, and a bunch of the other schools that we have here, or what the Carolina Hurricanes or the Carolina Panthers are doing down in Charlotte. It's that this is a destination place for a tournament like the soccer tournament. Also, the Big Rock, the U.S. Open at Pinehurst, which I think is going to be coming back. And my understanding, the USGA is basically like creating its own space and like putting its home at Pinehurst.
Yeah.
So you're going to see a lot of more tournaments at Pinehurst over the next, couple decades, basically. I think it's back at Pinehurst in 5 years from now, if I remember correctly. But the fact that the state of North Carolina is a destination place for a lot of these events and tournaments to happen. The NCAA Division II baseball championships at USA Baseball and Cary. The Division I women's lacrosse championships was at Wake Med Soccer Park and Memorial Day weekend. There are so many different things that make the state so great, and having all these major events taking place in the state, and then also the colleges that we have, like again, NC State, UNC going out to Omaha, Wake Forest last year was out there in Omaha. If you're a sports fan in the state, it really is an awesome time.
It is.
It's an awesome time. I absolutely love it, Victoria.
Me
Absolutely
too.
love it.
That's why everybody keeps moving here.
Yeah. There's a lot of that going on. There's a lot, but you know what? That's fine. As someone, I didn't grow up initially in the state of North Carolina. I grew up in Virginia. That's where I was born and raised, in Virginia. I moved down to the state of North Carolina in the fall of 2011.
Okay.
Is when I first moved to North Carolina. I lived in Fayetteville. Was there for 2 years. Needed a change of scenery. I was coaching full-time. I was coaching lacrosse full-time at that period of my life. Took a job at a small college in Wisconsin, just south of Milwaukee. Was there for a year. I was like, I'm kind of done full-time coaching right now. I needed a break. I was burned out. Moved back to North Carolina. I didn't go to Virginia. I went back here to North Carolina and have been in Raleigh. And this was about 10 years. It'll be 10 years this fall that I lived in Raleigh. Being 9 years working here at 99.9 The Fan, which is the flagship station for the Adam Gold Show. And part of it was because what this state has to offer. And there's so much that this state has to offer, and really is a great place to be.
Yeah.
And was that during that time, Victoria, where I actually became a Carolina Hurricanes fan.
Okay.
Was before they actually started winning games again.
Right.
It was actually like, I've always been a hockey fan.
Mm-hmm.
I still play it. I still play it.
So fun.
And I started watching Canes games more intentionally when I got here to the state because I wanted to be involved in the local sports scene.
Yeah.
And plus, I grew up in Virginia. There's Washington Capitals were always on. So I saw the Carolina Hurricanes play Washington often. So the name was always out there. I saw, I was in college when they won the Cup in 2006 and everything. But nonetheless, I was always latched on with ACC sports. Like I saw Phillip Rivers play against Virginia at UVA and all that kind of stuff. Like I saw all of that. I was there for those games. So ACC, it's in my lifeblood. But in terms of the Carolina Hurricanes, I started becoming a fan 2016, 2017. I really started attending games just because I'm a hockey fan, and I latched on fast.
Yeah.
Even though they weren't making the playoffs, I still latched on pretty quickly. And this is where I'm going to put my Carolina Hurricanes fandom hat on right now, Victoria, as we close out the show. I kind of wish I've heard some news, so far, or the fact that we have not heard any news so far about anyone signed, no new GM, no contract extensions, no trades, nothing.
Nada.
Kind of like, what are we doing here, folks?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What are we waiting for?
What are we doing here?
Yeah, nothing.
Maybe everyone's out on vacation. You gave us during the seventh inning stretch about an hour ago. You gave us destination places, the top ones. Maybe they're all Minneapolis.
Maybe
they're all, Long Beach, California. Maybe they're all just taking vacation, Victoria.
That could be it, I guess.
Like, you know what? The scouting combine, it's done.
Yeah.
It's over.
Mm-hmm.
The draft's not for a couple weeks. It's fine.
Yeah. Maybe
free
they
agency's not till July 1st. It's fine.
want to wait for all the other hockey things to be done. Who knows?
Who knows? But one thing, there's some things I really hope that we see over the next 2 weeks before the NHL draft for the Carolina Hurricanes. One, obviously a general manager announced. Because obviously.
Yeah.
Two, I want to know what they're doing with Martin Necas. Are you trading him? Fine. Are you keeping him and you sign him to a contract extension? Fine. Whatever it is that you decide to do, I want to hear something in the next 2 weeks. Again, the NHL draft is in 2 weeks. These are things I want to hear. One, who's your general manager? What's the structure of your front office? Is Justin Williams going to be the consultant if Eric Tulsky is promoted from assistant GM? Now he has the interim general manager tag. If he's the full-time GM, okay, fine. Does he have a consultant? Is there another assistant general manager that comes in? Whatever the structure of your front office is, I would like to hear about it between now and the draft.
Please and thank you.
Please and thank you.
Which is right around the corner.
It's
crazy.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's 2 weeks. What are you doing with Martin Necas? Or if you're trading him, fine. I'll make that decision before free agency hits because some teams might be out there be like, well, are you guys going to trade him? Because I want to know what you're doing with him. Can I trade for Necas? Is that a possibility? Because I got further free agents decisions. I got to shift my focus here. I got a draft coming up. I got free agency coming up. I can't linger too long and just wait and see. Also, things I want to see as well. I want to see contract extensions for Jake Gensel. I want to know that guy's re-signed and he's coming back.
I'm worried about that one.
And I really want to see a contract extension knowing that Jordan Martinook is coming back.
Yes, he needs to.
I want Jordan Martinook back on this team.
He's so valuable on and off the ice.
Yes.
Oh, we need him.
I will say this. I've said it before. I will say this again. Jordan Martinook is the heart and soul of that Carolina Hurricanes team.
Yeah.
He's the heart and soul of the team. I think fans understand it. Fans know it when they see the way he plays, the way he's embraced this community. Mm-hmm. Obviously, there's a reason why he wears an alternate captain letter on his chest.
Yeah, you can see it through his team, too. Like with the teammates in the locker room, how they'll show videos of them
100%.
Interacting. Oh, yeah, they love him.
100%. He's great in that locker room. He's a stand-up guy. He's obviously a good hockey player, too. That's the thing as well. It's like it's more than just the intangibles that he brings. He's obviously a very good hockey player. He kills penalties. The guy hustles. I mean, look no further than that Game 6 against the New York Rangers. It was in the second period. There's a shot against Freddie Anderson in transition, kind of leaked through Freddie, and the puck's just sliding right there and just about to completely cross the goal line. And here comes Jordan Martinook diving into the goal and saves the puck from going across the goal line.
He was like
and
Superman.
Saves the goal. Yes. I was like, as much as people want to get into like analytics and numbers and things like that, like, well, you can replace that guy's production. No, you can't replace that dude's heart and soul and commitment to this franchise.
Yeah.
You can't.
As Dan Morgan likes to say, that dog.
Dog. Jordan Martinook, dog.
He's got that dog in him.
That's a Dan Morgan guy.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. That on the Dan Morgan dog meter.
Yes.
That's Pitbull.
If he played football, Dan Morgan would be signing him
100%.
yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. That's a Dan Morgan guy. That's what we should rate like our NHL players. Just saying, is that a Dan Morgan guy?
Right.
Where is he on the Dan Morgan dog
Yes
scale?
or no? Okay, keep it moving.
Like Rottweiler. Yep, that's the guy I want. I hope in the next 2 weeks that we see that deal. Because that guy is so valuable for this team. He's still a really good hockey player, and he's in his prime years. He's been healthy over the last several years. He's been great. He really has been. That's something I know we've talked so much about. Well, what about the defenseman with Shea and with Slavin? Is he going to get a contract extension, which he's due or he's eligible to get one? What about Pesci? What about Natchez and all Gensel and all this stuff? I want to make sure that guy's back in my locker room too. Because we talk about Kane's culture that Rob Brind'Amour has established for this franchise and this team. Talk about identity, something that Dave Canales is trying to do with the Panthers in Carolina and Charlotte. Rob Brind'Amour's done that for the last 6 years. But you have to have the guys in the locker room that buy into it as well. Jordan Martinook is as important to that as anybody else. Him, Aho, Stahl, Slavin. That's the core group. That's part of that core leadership. Those are the 4 leadership guys on your team. Make sure that guy comes back. All right, Victoria, this was fun.
Yeah.
This was a good time. By the way, if you miss anything from the Adam Gold Show, make sure you subscribe to it on the Best of the Adam Gold Show podcast. Also, you can get more content from the show. You can watch it live on 99.9 The Fan's YouTube page. 99.9 The Fan is the flagship station for the Adam Gold Show. If you go on YouTube, look up 99.9 The Fan. You can watch the show that way. It streams live there. That way that you can leave thoughts and comments in the live chat section, but also leave thoughts and comments on the videos that are posted as well. For Victoria Vodnecker, I'm Dennis Cox. This has been the Adam Gold Show. Till next time, see ya.
Going beyond the box scores. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
It's here, the Chatley Boat and Marine Inventory Reduction Sale featuring Yamaha boats for 6 days only, June 10th through the 15th. Boats as low as $300 a month, rebates up to $8,000, plus special financing. Large inventory ready for immediate delivery. All boats are water tested before delivery on the Chatley on-site test lake. The Inventory Reduction Sale featuring Yamaha boats, June 10th through the 15th. Open nightly until 6:30, Saturday until 3, only at Chatley Boat and Marine in Sanford.
Hank Bauer, Chairman, ABC Commission. Talk it out, NC. Do we know what are the factors that most kids start because of?
It's mostly just peer pressure, which is unfortunate. And that's why, the website I think is so great to give kids an out. Because it's hard for a kid to say, I'm not going to do that. Oh, you're not cool. You're not going to drink with us. So this gives them a lot of answers, how to answer those issues when they're pressured, and then also outs as far as how to contact their parents for like a 911. Let's go. I got to get out of here.
The website, talkitoutnc.org.
It's bow time. Listen up, because we've got some big news to share. You might want to sit down for